What's up, everybody? Yes, welcome back to another steamy, seductive, delicious episode of Philosophical Pickle Streams with his friends. I am here today. I am Philosophical Pickle, if you didn't get that. And I'm here today with some pretty awesome mofos, and I'm going to introduce them right now. First up, we have Geek Speak from YouTube. Introduce yourself, Geek Speak.
Hey, what's up? I'm Geek Speak. I talk about superheroes, how shitty the DCEU is, anime, stuff of that sort. Come check out my channel.
All right, then we have the Nerd Man.
Hi, I'm the Nerd Man. I talk about DC, how shitty MCU is, and other kind of things along that nature. Thanks.
All right, we have JG Shaolin Terrific. What's up, man?
What is up, man? JG Shaolin, kicking ass, taking names for a living, y'all. Let's get it.
Oh, that's a great profession. And on the bottom right, last but certainly least, we have the Film Elitist.
Hey, what's up? I'm the Film Elitist. I don't have a YouTube channel, but I'm a professional man-child and a film critic.
Yeah, so you better believe he is a bastard.
So I don't really.
Oh, go! What's up, guys? Let's freestyle this shit.
Yeah. Go.
This is my second episode, and I already forgot that this is called the Geekly Wrap Up. Everybody, I'm trying to make that stick. This is the Geekly Wrap Up, where every Friday I accrue a team of members to talk about everything geeky: movies, comic books, actors, video games, whatever we want. Today we have some hot topics. We're going to talk about the Loki trailer. We're talking about the Space Jam trailer. We're going to talk about, is Netflix dying? We're going to talk about Chris Terrio being pissed off. And we're going to talk about Powerpuff Girls and reboots. So if you like any of that, maybe you'll like this. So first up, let me share my screen. You guys vent for a second while I share my screen. Anybody have any thoughts?
I was just responding to his intro. The MCU isn't terrible.
I will take that.
I had this to say about the DCU. The DCU isn't decent.
Okay.
Yeah. About the MCU, I would say it isn't good.
Hey,
I wiped my butt after
wait.
poop and
wait. Time out. What did you say, Nerdman? Nerdman, what did say that again?
What?
Say what you just said.
Oh, I was just saying I don't think the MCU is I don't know. Good.
Dude, man, you're smoking bowls, man.
That's my first drop. All right, guys. So I got a couple of those teed up. So we just got our second trailer for Loki, the TV show, Disney Plus's third show, and I think that this panel has some thoughts. We're going to go around and talk about it. Me first, man, I really want to love this show, but right now I'm just not really into it. I'm not loving the whole way that they're changing Loki into this cool, fun James Bond, sexy action hero. His greasy black little wig. Tom Hiddleston, like he's starting to look like he's 40 years old. Like I like the Loki, the evil, slimy bastard who killed Phil Coulson. I don't like this cool, action-packed Loki who's going on these adventures, going to help the time people, being a hero. I don't know. It's rubbing me the wrong way. I think the visuals look good. The budget looks good. It looks interesting, and I'm always asking for something different, and this does look different. So what do you guys think? The floor is open.
Okay, I guess I'll go.
What's up, man?
Well, he does look like Edward Scissorhands. Okay, look, we used to look at him, look just like him. Let's talk about what does the MCU do well. They taking B and C grade characters.
I like that.
And make them popular. What do we have so far? Falcon and Winter Soldier, 2 B C-list characters. The show is pretty good so far. So Loki, I mean, I'm not a huge MCU fan, but hey, they done me pretty good so far. So I guess I'll check it out. So
JG, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
This is to you, JG. Do you like Loki like in the MCU previous, like the other movies?
The other movies, yes, prior to what was the one, the Ragnarok.
Yes. So
I
you
like
like him in
Loki
the
prior to
Avengers?
Ragnarok.
So doesn't this look like more of that, like more crazy hijinks? It just doesn't
I mean, when you
Yeah.
look at what the MCU has done
look.
well,
It doesn't look
the
fantastic.
jokes, the comedy, that's what they do well, and they make money off of it. So
I
if
don't
it
want
ain't
that
broke,
from
don't fix
Loki.
it.
I mean,
I think it sucks, but
You're not
I
wrong.
think Loki. To be fair,
All right, Nerdman.
I think Loki's been like that from the jump. I mean, it's more of the MCU contributing to the cultural genocide of society, essentially. But no, that was just for you, geek. That was just for you, Geek Speak.
Dude,
But
man, you're smoking bowls, man.
it's not
I
like
actually
that.
don't like, guys. By the way, this is just between me and Geek Speak. It's not actual true representation of my thoughts. But
Yes,
I
if
will
we get
say
heated
this.
today, it's not personal, but it kind of is. Continue.
No.
And Shazam is really good. That's what this trailer reminded me of.
Shazam.
Shazam was. But I'll say this: I think the trailer. I think the trailer looks good. I think it's what MCU has been doing recently is kind of. I mean, at least in the trailers, I have to say I haven't enjoyed particularly the shows like WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier. I haven't particularly enjoyed them, but they always look good. They always look intriguing, and I'm thinking one of them is going to hit with me. And this one looks intriguing. I like Owen Wilson. I like the cinematography looks kind of quite great. I've never been a big fan of Loki. I think he's a little bit overrated, and we could maybe get into a flame war about that. But
I completely agree.
yeah, so that's my opinions on it. I will definitely be watching this, and I don't mean that just because of being a YouTuber. I mean, like it piques my interest.
So, okay, Geek Speak, you go, and then Film Elitist, I will let you tear it apart at the end.
Meow. Okay. So
what?
I'm kind of on the same page as Nerdman and Shaolin and You Pickle. I think the trailer looked okay. I don't really see the point of the show. I don't understand the need to use Loki to fix things. Like, why specifically Loki? Why can't anybody else in the world fix these things? I have full confidence that they have the capabilities. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been in business as long as they have been, or they must have been. To be fixing things like this. They don't need Loki, I don't think. So it's kind of dumb in my opinion. I am going to watch it, but I do think... Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to ask you to clarify. What do you mean by the fix things? Because I don't know what the background... I'm just seeing visuals when I watch this trailer. I don't really know what...
You want to explain
in the trailer, in the trailer, he says that they need Loki's Loki perspective to fix a couple of things. I don't think they ever really explicitly say what they need to fix, but they say they need him to fix it. And so to say that they need specifically this person to fix whatever, I think is kind of dumb. I don't think there's anything specific that Loki can do to fix whatever that nobody else could do. And I'm saying,
do you have any concept of what it could be?
So the whole plot of the show is that Loki took the Tesseract, and now he is responsible for messing something up because he warped through time. So they show the branching paths. He goes to these different timelines where the Avengers building is destroyed. He goes to these different Earths. So for some reason, he's gonna have to hop through time and just fix the branches that he broke. But it's kind of vague
concept.
Yes, and they're going to be like, "Ooh, look at this form of New York. Look at this form of New York. Look at this place that we've been, but now it's a little different. Here's Loki jumping out of airplanes."
It'll be kind of cool to see.
Finish Geek, and then
but at
Elitist,
the same time, you know they only made the show because he's considered like a fan favorite, and what I'm hoping from the show is that they don't bring him into like the central timeline. If they bring him into the central timeline, his death in Infinity War is going to be meaningless. And honestly, I thought that death was a good end for him, his chapter in the Marvel cinematic universe. So that aside, I hope this is a one-off thing and then we're done with Loki because he died. Kind of wanted to stay that way. I think it was a good end for his character. bring him back is to be undoing all of that after Thor: Dark World character development, and I mean it's just kind of stupid. Death has no meaning if they come back like right after. So that's mainly my thoughts. I'm gonna watch it because it's a Marvel thing, and there's not really any reason not to watch it. But I mean, I think it looks okay. I'm not really hoping for anything. I'm except that he isn't back in the main MCU timeline.
He will be.
Whoever's next can go. That's really.
Film Elitis, what do you got?
Yeah, can I go from 0 to 100 real fucking quick?
Come on, what's your
I
honest
would
opinion?
rather have heroin injected in the spot of my forehead than watch any more of these formulaic, exactly what I expect Marvel TV shows and movies. I was a huge MCU fan, Iron Man 1, OG, all the way up until the Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame, all of that. But then you got to think, now we've got Tom Hiddleston flying through space in a dapper, daft, tucked-in white shirt with a tie flying around. Could he have any more black hair dye? You're 40. We're not trying to sell sex to 14-year-olds here. We're trying to make TV shows. Okay? I'm sick of it. This invalidates
Taylor Swift's ex.
This invalidates everything that he went through character arc-wise in like the last 4 MCU movies. And I don't even like Loki. So to do that and then bring him back when I didn't like him before, when you actually gave him a valid ending, it's like they're trying to piss me off. And you said, speak.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Nerdman.
No, I thought I was going to be the rebel here. Like, everyone doesn't like Loki. I fucking
the Elitist told me before this
video.
I knew that he was going to rip into it. Go ahead and finish, Elitist.
Go on, man. I'm loving the rant.
It totally invalidates everything they do. They don't make any dangerous or risky decisions anymore. Marvel is candy coated, wrapped in a bow, exactly what you expect. M equals E equals MC squared. You know exactly what you're gonna get. I'm so frustrated I can't do math. That's how I feel. Okay, and I don't want to see Tom Hiddleston flying around seducing teenagers. I want to see stuff that makes me excited, that makes me think about what comic books originally made me think about. Hey, these people are heroes. This is cosmic. These people are gods, not some daft British guy cracking a few jokes and swinging dick with Owen Wilson.
Okay, so
come on, leave Owen Wilson out of this, man.
What do you think about that, JG?
Owen Wilson looked good. Wow. Everything else had a problem with.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a hard act to follow right there. Man.
Come on, Owen Wilson's the one-off. You know it.
Owen Wilson.
One question though, just before, can I ask?
What's up?
Do you like Falcon versus Winter, or is it Falcon versus Winter Soldier?
I think it's acceptable. I think it's like a 6 out of 10.
Thank you.
Come on.
Thank you.
Nerdman, we had a 30-minute conversation before the stream earlier where we were getting into each other about Falcon and Winter Soldier, which it's not in the title, but if we have time, we will bring up Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and it will be heated. But Shaolin, you haven't talked a lot. What you have any other thoughts on Loki, or do you not really give a shit?
Well, I am having an issue with the middle picture at the bottom. The woman with the flat top fade, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Yes, I have no idea.
We have more hairstyles than a freaking flat top fade. What the hell is that? What the hell is that?
I think it's just her.
Look at Owen Wilson over there.
Get on hair, bro. I mean, like,
I wonder if we have more hairstyles than that. Come on.
Look at this hot man, though.
I wonder if she learned that angry face.
It's as good as his stash.
I'm just saying, just like you remember those old hair club for men commercials where they had the one black out, the flat top fade. That's what the hell she looks like right now.
She does look like Daryl from The Office.
She does look like she's traveling through time, basically, doesn't she? It's some weird kind of.
But in all seriousness, though, because I think Philosophical Pickle talked about it, how Loki's kind of trying to fix things. Why is he trying to fix things? Because the Loki that I know of, that I somewhat kind of like, he only fixes things if it
doesn't give a shit.
Well, they are forcing him. They put a collar on him. They're kind of forcing him to do it. It's implied that they're like this big unit that's more powerful than even gods, I guess, because they can put a shock collar on Loki and control him. But like Geek said, why does it have to be him? Why couldn't they plucked Cap out and let him go on this adventure? or Hulk. Like they're way better than Loki.
You know why it has to be him?
Because he's hot and it'll bring in 13-year-old girls. I know.
Well, there you go. Disney makes money. They're a corporation. They're not out for the little guy.
Exactly.
They're not out for the little guy. They're out for the little girls.
Yeah, they're out for
remember,
money.
Loki is a C-list character. What does Marvel do? The MCU do well.
Yeah.
Be C-list characters.
That's right. They
can I ask something? Because for a long time, let's get into this. What we think of Loki? Because for a long time, Loki was kind of banded around as one of the greatest comic book villains of all time. You know, up there with Magneto and Joker. It was right there, Loki from the Avengers. Yep. What do you guys think of that? Because, like, for me, Loki was always, like, I didn't even understand, like, all right, in Thor, he served his purpose. It was, MCU was going with that weak villain trope from the beginning. The villain, there was one of two types of villains. Either the humorous, the one who does quips like Tony Stark type of villain, or it was just a nothing kind of villain that just was generically evil, like Red Skull, or what was the other guy, the one from Malekith or something like that. And obviously Loki was probably the best one of those quippy, humorous kind of villains, but he was still trash. Like, by the standards of like actual villains in films, he didn't come up to snuff. He wasn't genuinely evil or frightening in any of these movies. Like, I never thought this is a true. Like, I couldn't believe the Avengers villain was Loki. I thought that was whack. I love the Avengers, but like, I was like, of all the people you're going to pick to be the villain to bring this team together, you're going to choose Loki. What the fuck?
So in the comics, Loki is the guy that brings them together the first time. He's why the Avengers formed. And then you also gotta think of Loki is one of the few villains in the MCU. I think the only villain who's fleshed out over more than one movie. If you think about every single MCU villain, they appear in that movie, and then that's that. But Thor had Thor, then the Avengers, then Dark World, and he just kind of keeps appearing. So I understand why he's kind of a fan favorite. I don't agree that he's. But I hate
this. I hate this whole concept that villains have to be like relatable, and I think that's what's destroyed Loki. Making villains relatable, right, is a real, like Hannibal Lecter isn't fucking relatable. The Joker isn't necessarily relatable, right? But like sometimes it's true. You could have a villain that is sympathetic or relatable or likable, and it works. But that has to just come naturally from the story.
Gotcha.
But it seems to be a point of like writing these days within Hollywood. This concept that we have to have a relatable villain, or a villain that sees himself as the hero of the story. And I don't buy that. I don't think that's always the most compelling villain at all.
I see what you're saying, but three things. First, let me see your shirt. Is that okay? I love that shirt. Okay. Cool, two, man. A hero is only as good as his villain. And then
exactly.
I don't know about that.
Three, you have to agree with that. Okay.
No, I don't.
Three, think
true.
about the what's his name? Vulture in Spider-Man Homecoming. He's a working man, and then he has his job taken from him. And so that's not necessarily that's relatable in a sense. He's just trying to provide for his family in a sense.
Yeah, exactly. But Michael Keaton completely sells that. The villain is actually weak. Like I don't feel
that is a very relatable villain. I understand completely.
Hey, let the elitist jump in there.
He's relatable because of Michael Keaton's performance. Go on, sorry.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that I totally concur with the Nerd Man on this. It confused me when it first happened. I'm a big fan of the Avengers movies and the first three phases of the MCU, but the idea that Loki is one of the greatest villains of all time is laughable to me. And like he said, you don't have to be relatable. The Joker in The Dark Knight is the most unrelatable villain in film history. He's literally
You don't have to be relatable,
chaos.
but you have to be a great, compelling villain. You have
right,
to
but
have
I don't think that
character.
Loki is that. He's a dry, dapper British sex god.
I agree.
He's the god of sex.
I wasn't trying to say that you have to be relatable to be a villain. I'm just saying a villain has to have a good story. Evil, just because being evil gets boring after a while. That's all I'm saying.
Being evil can
there just
be
has
boring.
to be a good motive.
But you know what else can be boring?
It
can also be boring to just want to sell posters and T-shirts at Hot Topic, aka Jared Leto's Joker and Tom Hiddleston's Loki.
So let me,
Dude, Suicide Squad. That is all Hot Topic.
I think
let me ask you something, Geeks. Sorry, go on.
I think everyone on here is right.
I just wanted to respond to Geeks' one point. Go on.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Just the one point that I wanted to respond to Geek Speak, because I think he's right. If you have a model for a villain that is trained as the only way a villain should be, it's always wrong. So if you do the evil just for evil, and you said all villains have to be evil just for evil's sake, then they'd all be trash. Every villain writers would be making would be terrible. But the trope that's taken over in Hollywood now is that, all villains have to be relatable, or all villains have to be... Sorry, anyway, go on, because you...
That's what I was going to address, that I think that everyone on here is right. It's just, I want a good mix of both. I want the relatable guys, I want the Thanoses, I want the Killmongers, but I don't want it every movie. I occasionally want a crazy bastard, like the film elitist and I always talk about. Like, we want a just maniacal, but also measured, just evil Doctor Doom, or like Magneto's very relatable. But then we want the crazy mofos like the Joker or Ultron. Like Ultron is the perfect one, and I think we can all agree. Ultron should have been the villain that was just cold-blooded. When he comes on screen like the Terminator, you are scared. You get chill bumps. But they had to somehow make him have daddy issues and make him fucking make jokes. That's the wrong place, the wrong time. But it works with Loki. It works with Magneto. It works with Killmonger. It worked with Thanos.
But does it work with Loki?
Should have been the rage of Ultron,
so
not the age of Ultron. The age, but it's only a few days.
To get back to Loki, the original thing, I think that Loki is a fun villain. He's not a fantastic villain. Loki's fun because he makes snarky comments like this to the heroes, like, "Ooh, Black Widow and Hulk, I'm gonna unleash the Hulk, and I'm gonna look into the camera and say really cool lines." But he never really challenged the heroes. He was there for them to beat up. He was there for you to quote. Like, how many Loki quotes do we really know from Thor or Thor Ragnarok?
Oh my God, you told me.
He's not this great, but other than the Avengers, we don't know any Loki quotes. I can quote the hell out of him in the Avengers, but he's not this dastardly bastard. He is a snarky sex god, and I think he's a good villain, but he's not what everyone makes him out to be. What do you think about all that, JG?
I mean, I wouldn't even consider him a villain per se, because I mean, you look at Thor when he's
more of an anti-hero.
Thor to me was probably Odin, because the reason why he did the shit he did was because of what? Odin lied about who he really was, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at the downhill of Loki, to me, came in the Avengers. Because when Hulk started body slamming him back and forth, I said, you know what? It's going to be jokes from here on out. Because the original, well, I guess you could say Iron Man 1 was the MCU movie, even though it's made by Paramount, I think. Those first few movies weren't comical. They were somewhat kind of dark in a way. Obadiah Stane, to me, was a great villain.
Yes.
He's pretty good.
He was pretty good. He was serviceable.
He was good until he got into the suit. No.
I agree that in the cave.
The Avengers.
3 days.
Really think about it. The first
were
Avengers,
relatable in a way. Then relatability thing started coming in. We say maybe Ultron, Killmonger. To me, wasn't really a villain because I kind of understood where he was coming from. Right? T'Chaka to me, of course, probably more likely a real villain. So it's the MCU has had issues with villains as far as, the team up movies. The standalone villains have been okay, but the team up villains is like, ugh.
Yeah.
Also, look, everybody, let's give our last thoughts I'm gonna go around the table and give our last thoughts on the Loki trailer, Loki, Marvel villains, just whatever you want to say. Give about 2 minutes to each person. Geek speak.
I was just gonna say I agree with JG. You know, a lot of the Marvel villains are not that compelling. That's really all I have to say. But I don't think that we really need a series for Loki. There's definitely other characters, other villains that we could definitely benefit from seeing a series, maybe based on that. So yeah, that's my final thoughts.
Nerdman.
I think we're getting that.
And he's gone.
I think I'm just waiting for the noise to end. I think we're getting saturated by MCU product, to be quite fair. I think there's just too much going on, too many series. I think they're stretching themselves. Oh, sorry.
No, I understand completely. We're getting oversaturated. We're definitely.
Yeah, you've distracted me with a cute kid. I think we're getting saturated way too much, and it's just got to a point where, like, I don't know. I don't need a Loki show or there's these characters that they're trying to make something that were just side characters, really, and that's what they were good for. I liked Falcon as Captain America's sidekick. I did. I liked Winter Soldier as like his kind of villain, but the main dish, the main event was Captain America. Without him there, kind of doesn't work for me, you know. I don't need Iron Hearts. I don't need Wonder. And who the fuck wanted a Vision? Anybody after watching Vision in the Age of Ultron and beyond wanted a show based on him, wanted to spend their life actually watching, trying to delve deeper into Vision. If anybody says that, they really, I don't know that their life is full and complete in some way.
I don't think it was about delving into Vision, though. It was more about Wanda and dealing with her like trauma and stuff.
Whatever, either one of them. Basically, Wanda, you could possibly have an interesting show about, but really, she's just a great side character, a good B.A. Baraka style character to kind of clean out the bar, like when she.
I think she's a great starring character. I think things were just handled a little bit wrong towards the end of that series, but she's definitely her own character.
It should be She'd be great in a show about mutants. Like, use her to start off a mutant show, but not her own show, bro.
Jump in there, film elitist.
I concur with the Nerdman, actually. I'm sick and tired of having this shit shoveled down my throat. I'm expected to spend money to get subscriptions for a service. Okay, that's fine. You're a corporation. We're in a capitalistic society, but you better earn my money. I am sick of them telling me exactly what I think it's going to be and then saying, yeah, take my money, please. No, you can't have it anymore. Do something original. I don't want to see Loki for the 8th time.
Yeah.
Okay, but this time he's in space and he's got a tie on.
Originality is dead.
Is making
different? He's got a tie on. He's not wearing the horns. It's a whole different thing. You want to pay $30?
Originality is dead in Hollywood.
Let me challenge you for a few seconds. Film elitist, do you not think that now I gave WandaVision a 6 out of 10. I think it was just above average. But can you not at least agree that making a sitcom superhero show wasn't original? Was that not original?
It's the sum of its parts that makes something whole. It's the sum of its parts that makes something whole. Okay, WandaVision is one thing. Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, Ironheart, Iron Wars, She-Hulk, all this shit that they're pushing out, spin-offs about fucking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and every fucking thing they can come up with, any proprietary property they own, they will spin it off. The son of Iron Man will be a thing before you know it. They can't help themselves. They want to print money. Let's just be real.
They need
yes. But there are some shows that are necessary. I mean, I want them.
I got to say one thing. You know why Iron Man 1 Iron Man 1, it has some flaws or whatever, but you know why Iron Man 1 felt new and original and fresh because it was new and original and fresh. Loki TV show is not anything close to that. And we sniff it out, and I'm tired of the bullshit. Okay, I'm not paying for it. I don't want to pirate it. You couldn't pay me to watch this shit.
That's a lie. You wouldn't watch
If I gave Elitist $30 right now to watch it, he would. He would watch it.
Underneath 30 grand.
You're getting a fat 30
grand. I give you a bottle of wild turkey and you'll watch it.
Shaolin will give you $5. Shaolin.
Exactly.
Right?
All right, yeah.
Shaolin.
So, Shaolin, what do you
have no money. I have no money, so I can't be part of that payment. But
okay, well, no, like I said earlier, the MCU was done pretty well with being C-list characters. WandaVision, you take away all the fan theories that were pretty much bullshit. It was a decent show. Falcon and Winter Soldier's pretty good so far. Do I care
Falcon and
about
Winter Soldier is pretty good so far. Are you serious?
I think
we'll
it's pretty
get
good.
to it.
Yeah, we'll rant about that later. Loki, I can care less about. It's just another cash grab for Disney. Probably more so to sell toys for the kids as usual.
Yeah, they got to put Loki in 7 different costumes.
Exactly. There isn't much to watch. There isn't much to watch on TV anyway, so yeah, I guess I'll give it a shot.
So the consensus is that some of us are not really excited, but we'll watch it if there's nothing else on, and some of us really don't want it. So
yeah,
if Baron Zemo dances in it, then I might be.
Nerdman, since you said that, I was talking to Pickle about that earlier. It's completely unnecessary to get an entire hour of him dancing. I don't understand why it's blowing up. It's so stupid. It was just a little scene.
Because people are stupid.
No, yeah, you're right.
If you're watching,
it's just so dumb. Come on,
Film elitist. What do you think about
Nerdman? And I can probably agree with that.
Listen, hey guys, let me leave it here real quick. I'll be right back.
Oh, go ahead, man.
Man was rocking it with it. He was rocking it with Enchantress.
As soon as I saw that, I thought about some dark things. Let's just say that. I thought about things that I haven't thought about since I was a teenager listening to emo music. I have gone through darker corners of my mind watching MCU products the last couple of years than I did from watching the coronavirus and political coverage. Okay, I'm sick of this.
Damn.
Okay, and now just to segue a little bit because I know we're going to be talking about Space Jam 2.
You're a hyperbolic son of a bitch.
No, I'm not being hyperbolic at all. I'm being literal.
All right, what's up?
There's nothing hyperbolic here. I'm sick of it. Honestly, I'm just sick.
Lucky.
And that's okay, man. Anybody else have any MCU rants? I mean, is that all you have? Because I'm gonna wait for Shaolin to come back. You want to shit on it a little more?
Yeah, I'll shit on it a little more.
Is there still some shit in your anus? You want to keep going?
Yeah. What I'm sick about is that now
the Capitol Building 3, Coronavirus 2, Loki 1.
Well, here's the thing, right? Everybody knows in this country, in America at least, we have kind of a divided political spectrum right now. So I don't care what your politics are. I don't want to see a movie that's made for conservatives. I don't want to see a movie that's made for liberals. If you have a political message, I want it to be nuanced. I'm sick of these companies always giving me exactly what I expect in every aspect, whether that's political, social message, the content. As long as the special effects look good, they think they can get away with anything. They just repurpose the same shit and feed it back to us and expect us to pay for it again like it's something new. I'm really sick.
You guys can still see me, right?
Are you talking about the supposed woke messaging that people have been complaining about in Falcon and Winter Soldier, or?
I'm talking about broadly what the direction Marvel is going. Because here's the thing: I don't have a problem. Who would with diversity? We need more diversity. Okay, there aren't enough movies that show the full color of the planet and the globe because there's a lot of different types of people, and we need to tell those stories. But tell it in a way that doesn't seem like it's preaching. Is all I ask. Don't tell it in a way that it's exactly the derivative of what I see on the news. You know, I don't want it packaged and bowed and sent to me in a way that's only digestible for one people. I want a message of unity. I want a message of this is something original.
Well, this is the thing that I would say, because I completely agree with what you just said there. And I'm not gonna kind of argue with that. But I would say like this, there have been people recently who were talking about like a scene in Falcon and Winter Soldier where, you know, apparently somebody was trying to arrest Falcon or something like that. And the police were being a little bit aggressive about it, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is really political." And I'm just like, dude, you know, Iron Man went and just blew up a bunch of terrorists, right? In Iron Man 1. Why weren't people screaming about like, "Hey, I don't want politics in my films"? Then it seems like there's, you know, I just wish people would keep the energy the same, because I think if you look at it, a lot of films have a lot. Wow, come on, man.
And it was cool.
And it was cool. That is true. I have no problem with it, dude. I have no problem with it. I was against certain wars. I don't want to go into that. I was against certain wars, but I will allow a filmmaker to be free to say what they want, you know, as long as they don't jam it down my throat.
We don't have a choice about what wars we go into or not.
No, okay. I don't want to go into that because that's, you know, we've got.
I understand. I'm just saying we don't really have a choice.
Of course, but I don't know if you're being, but my point was this: that you've got that in Iron Man, right? But everyone complains when you do it in a certain different way. So my thing is, if it's like something like Captain Marvel or Batwoman, that is really like forcing an agenda down your throat. Those kind of things clearly are doing it. You know, they're making it known what it's about. Whereas Falcon and Winter Soldier, for all the things I dislike about it, I don't think it's forcing any agenda down our throats. It was just a one single off kind of scene there that was.
I hope so. I hope that was a one-off scene. I talked to Pickle about this.
I don't think that it was terrible.
I'm half and half on it.
The difference between it and Iron Man, I can say the exact difference is that they stopped the complete episode to make it happen, and I think the Iron Man scene it was a evolution of his character in the plot.
I don't think that it's a problem.
I don't care that it happened.
I'm not gonna go on too much about this, but I don't think the problem.
Let's wrap this up. This is your last thought.
I don't think the problem is the messaging, right? It's not, or the message. It's the messaging. I don't care if you want to make a political message about oppression of minorities or whatever your message is. If there's something bad happening in society, you're free to talk about it. That's what art is at its best. I just want it to not feel contrived. That's all I ask for.
And I agree with that. I completely agree with you so far on just about everything you said. When it came to the episode 2 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I definitely felt half and half. Like half of it, I did feel it was forced, and then the other half, I felt like it was, you know, important to the story, maybe good character development. But just like I've been telling Pickle, personally, stuff like this shouldn't have to come up in a TV show. It definitely shows the agenda to me of Disney. Do this before it's a cry on the internet or publicly a big thing. Do it before it's something that is well known, because it's obvious that Disney's only doing it because it's a public problem. Do it before then. Do it before then to be inclusive. Don't do it now because it fits your agenda and you're making people happy, because we all know you just want that money. And that's the only reason why they're doing it, is so they can say, hey, we're on your side. Here, give us your money, you know? That's how I feel about it, at least.
My only problem with that, and I'm not saying this because
this has to be the end of it. Then we got to talk about real stuff like LeBron James.
My only problem with that is, again, going back to that Iron Man thing, then do you not think that was wrong? Because that was slap bang in the middle of the Iraq War. right? They're
How?
going out, blowing up
Because it's in
terrorists.
2008. That's 7 years later, though. I see what you're saying,
Oh,
but
no,
it's
no, but it
7
was,
years
the
later.
war-
I feel like it doesn't
sorry, the
even
war on
complete.
terrorism.
It doesn't close.
Sorry.
It doesn't. To
It
me,
was-
it's
it
not
was
even
the-
close.
Wait. It was like the war on terrorism thing, and that was a big news item at the
glad we
time.
went here.
And clearly, Marvel was reflecting their times. I have no problem with that. You can have
Nerdman, did you see somebody else say that, or did you come to that on your own conclusion when you watched the movie? Because when I watched the movie, okay, so I never got that until you just now said it today. I never got that inkling ever. I never took it as anything to do with 9/11 or the war on terrorism or anything. I have never in my life thought it links to that. I see where you can draw the similarities, but I don't.
We weren't
think
12
that
when
at
it
all.
came out. And
It
now that
was
we're
fine when it worked out. Yeah, I never thought that. I don't know anybody that has thought that. I've never heard of that in my entire life until Nerdman said
Can
it.
I just say
It's an
why-
interesting perspective.
Just one thing.
Yeah, thank you.
Everyone else can say
I think
one
I
more
think
word.
that there is a difference, Nerdman. It's that
It's
Tony
7
Stark
years
starts off
later.
that movie as a war criminal, and the movie actually becomes more of a criticism of war than it does a propaganda piece about America being the good thing all the time.
For sure. Agreed. 100%. It's definitely about a war on weapons and war
and the proliferation of weapons and stuff like that. But it's about a war. It's about the proliferation of weapons to the wrong people.
But if it's coinciding with terrorism, then it would be saying, "Hey, America's wrong in the beginning about making weapons," and that's just a whole other thing. That doesn't really coincide with anything, nerd related or geek related. That's a whole other real world topic.
But I think those things aren't highlighted because people don't see it as political, and I'm just wondering why they see one thing as political when it's on one side, but when it's on the other side, and it's just like reinforcing American exceptionalism, this kind of thing. Nobody worries about it. It's like, oh, it's okay. Like you can blow up some Arabs, and it's fine.
I can see them as Arabs. I saw them as actual terrorists, actual bad guys. I never saw them as Arabs. I never took it politically. I didn't see them as Arabs. I saw them as people who were bad people. I never thought as Arabs. I never saw them as Arabs. I thought they were their own thing.
Something about juicy barbecue prime rib.
I think that we're in difficult times to talk about topics like this. But if I had to take a guess, I would say that again, what I originally said about the messaging. I think that those people in Iron Man that he killed, they were an extremist group. They weren't the entire whole of Afghanistan. And
I didn't take them as Arabs. I didn't even take them as Al Qaeda. I just took them as a terrorist group.
Let film go. Let Elitist go.
And it wasn't about America versus Pakistan or anything like that. It was Tony Stark gave weapons, sold weapons to people that turned out to actually be the bad guys. He saw that they were hurting children and running this village, and he says, "Okay, now I actually can be a hero instead of being the reason that shit like this happens. I can."
I get that.
Yeah,
I get that. I get that.
When you hear a comment in Falcon the Winter Soldier, even though I think a lot of people, me included, can agree that there are problems with the police in this country, I think that just by making it like a blanket thing about the police, it offends a lot more people, because there are a lot of people that feel like they have relatives that are police or whatever, or they feel like they're being attacked. And we've gotten very partisan with things, and it's hard to talk about these things in a nuanced way. So I think that they don't worry about that anymore. They just they say, we're going to say what we want because it's the right thing to say, and we're not going to worry about whose feelings we're hurting. We're just going to do the right thing. And
this is the last thing I'm going to say about it.
I gotta interrupt.
Until episode 2 of the Falcon of the Winter Soldier, I didn't think that Marvel got real world comparison at all until then. That's the last thing I'm going to say. That's okay. I'm just saying that's the only time
I bet talked in like 2 minutes. JG Shaolin, what do you think about all this?
I kind of came in on, I don't know what's going on, but from what I've heard, I was enjoying the banter back and forth. Like, it's challenge day. Okay. For me, Iron Man 1.
What do you think about politics represented in our comic book movies, and how do you think it was handled in Iron Man 1 when he fights the terrorists compared to when the police stop Sam in
Keep it out.
Soldier?
Until now.
Okay. I'm going to quote a line from the movie Braveheart where the narrator says, "History is written by those who have hung heroes." You look at Tony Stark's character, right? He designs all these things, weapons and all that. And he makes a statement in Iron Man 1 when he says war. Basically, hey, I'll be broke if we went for war, something like that.
Yeah.
He didn't care about anything until he got put in that position.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He was a playboy. He's made money, had sex with whoever he wanted to, female-wise, I'm sure. And, when he got caught up in this situation, oh, man, I got to do something about this. But in the end, he goes back and he becomes a terrorist himself because he's flying over there. Even though, yes, he's killing terrorists or whatever you want to call them, there's usually innocent bystanders in the way.
So do you think he shouldn't have done that? He couldn't have saved those innocent people. So are you saying he shouldn't have done that? I mean, I see what you're saying. I agree. He's the terrorist going and stopping that. But are you saying he shouldn't have?
In the real world.
No, I'm not saying he shouldn't have, but we also have to be understanding of the fact that
he broke the law.
He broke the law, right? Not saying that law shouldn't be broken, and there's a ways to go about it, especially diplomatic ways, especially when you're going from domestic to foreign. But he took it in his own power to go over there and do what he felt he needed to do, which is commendable.
Hey, Shaolin.
By the way,
that's a very wise way to say that. So I like talking to people who handle things like that in a very mature way. So I'm glad we got you today on today's podcast. It's great to have a conversation with somebody who handles it like that.
But with that said, there's another movie called The Great Debaters. Now, I tend to quote a lot of movies. And in the final portion of that debate, it's a pretty good movie. The guy talks about, what's the name of it? Fuck it, I just lost my thought. Anyway, he basically says we have a right to fight against injustice.
Yes.
Whether I do it physically or I do it verbally, diplomatically, I have a right to fight injustice. Yeah. Who's to say who's performing these injustices? Like I said, history is written about those who hung heroes. To the people over there in Iron Man 1, we are the terrorists. Because there was a reason why they were doing what they were doing. To us, they are the terrorists.
Yeah.
Who's the hero and who's the villain in all this?
It's a very gray situation. When it comes to black and white, it's very gray.
Can I just...
go ahead.
I just wanted to say this because I think that it might sound like I'm choosing one side or the other. What I'm trying to say is actually I believe in creative freedom. That's what I believe in. I believe Iron Man, the creators of Iron Man, had every right to make that scene, and it's one of my favorite scenes in the film. And I do think that if you ask some Arab people, they may feel attacked by that scene. They may feel that that's that scene doesn't represent them well.
They never explicitly say.
Wait. They might feel as attacked as people who feel that they've got family in the police feel when they see a scene of a policeman unfairly treating Falcon. They might feel as attacked as those people. So we have to be mindful of that. But at the same time, if we start going, we can't represent this in art and we can't represent that in art, I think we go down a slippery slope. Everything's going to offend somebody. Do you know what I mean? So just let it be free for all and let people just, say what they want in art.
Can I just say one thing and I swear to God I'm done?
Oh, you better be the last.
I totally agree with Nerdman, and I think the only reason people are upset the last couple of years is a lot of people feel like there's only not that you're picking a side, but that the studios are. They're only implementing messages from one side, and if we had messages from both sides, I think people would be a lot less upset. I feel like a lot of people feel like they're only on one side getting attacked, and
I get it.
I'm not saying that I'm sympathetic to any kind of people that are extreme or whatever, but there are good people that are just in the middle or to the right or whatever, and I think that they feel like maybe they're being attacked and that they're not being represented in movies And it all needs to come together is what needs to happen. You need to be able to tell any story you want to tell, like Nerdman said, and just let the people decide if it's valid or not.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anybody else have one more thought on this?
I would say something about.
Can I share my screen real quick?
Share your screen while Shaolin talks.
Yeah, I think Geek Squeako was talking about
Go ahead.
episode 2 of Falcon and Winter Soldier. And I do agree that was probably the most real world episode. I would say probably part of the first episode as well. When he's
only time Marvel
trying to get a
real
loan,
world.
trying to get a loan in a bank. As a black man in America, I have been in a situation where I was in trouble being black and nearby, right? And the fact that, oh, you're Falcon, okay, we'll let you go. Had he not been Falcon, he probably would have been tasered, jumped on, no matter. Greg Floyd situation probably would have happened. Rest in peace to him. And so, do I mind situations like that being in comic book films and shows? No, but we also have to be sensitive to those matters as well.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you.
I understand.
I do. Let me go here, Geek.
So
let me say this.
I saw this today on Facebook.
Geek, let me go.
Okay.
I don't give a shit if you put politics in your movie. My biggest issue was the fact that they just completely, I think it was lazy writing. They completely stopped the episode to frisk Falcon, and it was just a plot device so they could go, oh, Bucky, we got to get you to the police station. So in the Iron Man movie, it was a part of his fucking journey. Now, some people in other countries might think, damn, this white man came in here and killed our people. It's not representative of us. But I think it was fucking awesome. Killing them, shooting them, smacking them. That was one of the best moments in the MCU.
I think it was Marvel's way.
It flowed through the story that was the defining moment for Iron Man in that movie, that he's going to take action, compared to a scene that happens in real life. Never happened to me, but it does happen. But it just felt like the episode stopped. I don't even care about the political message as much. It was just like lazy writing. Like, we got to get you to the police station somehow.
Yeah, true. I agree with that. This is my
last thing.
This really has to be the last thing, and then we got to move on to the real shit, Space Jam.
This is literally the last thing. I saw this picture today on Facebook, and I shared it, and it said cartoons in the future, so they don't offend anybody. And I don't want to get real world here, but it's something that I agree with. It's something that I see. This is how it's gonna be, just so you make sure that you don't offend anybody. And again, I don't want to get real world. I don't care if comic books, comic book movies get involved in world politics, whatever. I don't care. They intersect. It just, to me, has to be natural. So that scene in Falcon and Winter Soldier 2, to me, felt very forced. It's saying, hey, we're on your side. They're just trying to find another way to connect to people to get a fan base, because again, all they care about is money. And that's just my opinion, but I want stuff to be natural. If it's going to be real world, if it's going to be politics, whatever, it has to be natural. It has to be real world. It doesn't have to be something that's forced, something that just recently happened, so that they can side with people and get a fan base. Because to me, that's all that is them just trying to procure a fan base, not being actually sensitive to the cause.
True. Though, if they weaved it into the story and it was like a full episode and it completely made sense and it was character developing and all of that kind of stuff for Falcon, it still would have been complained about as being too woke.
Well,
I don't know. I can't say. I don't know. I'm in the middle of that.
It would have been.
I don't know if it would have been.
No, I know for a fact it would have been, because of the road that Marvel is on, trying to make up for lost times, make up for the fact that all their characters were. That's the whole thing, is that they are clearly trying to force diversity with all of these upcoming shows. They're making characters black. They're making characters into women. They're changing it. I understand, but it's so obvious that they're just making up for lost times, because the first 8 years it was all white men, and I mean now they're wanting to make up for it. She-Hulk, Hawkeye. Look, Hawkeye is now going to be a girl.
She-Hulk is the dumbest one.
Who? Oh, so She-Hulk's going to be a woman. Hawkeye is going to be a woman. Captain America is going to be black. Who else do we have? Ironheart is now going to be a black woman. I know there's one or two more. Captain Marvel's in there.
Bro.
There's one more that they changed the character, and I understand why. It's just they're just making up for lost time. It does feel like it can feel like a lot at once because you didn't have any diversity for 8 or 9 years. Then you have all this diversity in 2 or 3 years. It can feel like a lot.
It would be great.
People are going to complain no matter what.
It would be great to have this discussion further, considering the diversity we have right here between us, on a different video. On a different screen.
That's true. I didn't think it was going to even go here, but of course it had to with you mofos.
we can move on to another thing because we'll always have another point, to
I think we could have really good in the future.
We'll just have to make one of these other topics shorter. And does anybody else have any other final thoughts that won't be your final thoughts?
Well, I think this is gonna be the last one. I'm done with it.
I'm sorry.
I think X-Men is probably the best example of putting real world events into a comic book, whether it's animated or the comics or the movies, where they kind of threw in that, the Professor X was that Martin Luther King character. Magneto was more of that Malcolm X type of character.
Yes.
And how they kind of put civil rights and all that stuff in there as well, and human rights and all that other stuff. So that's probably the best example of how to do it, but where you can still be woke, but not annoyingly woke.
I hate wokeness anyway, so I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not like other people, but I just don't like the term. I think
Do
it's
it because
silly.
you care, not because you want money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, being woke.
So they can do it like X-Men.
Exactly. Who likes the sensation of being woken up?
It's
the fact that it's a term. Woke.
Hey, let's move on from racism and the war on terror.
Let's get on that Space Jam 2 trailer.
Geek.
Let's talk
I'm
some shit
talking
about
in my
Space Jam
sexy
2.
voice now. Hey, I'm talking in my sexy voice. Let's move on from the war on terror and wokeness and racism in America and talk about Space Jam 2.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Dude, I haven't seen this trailer either.
Mr. Social Justice Warrior himself, LeBron James.
Piece of shit.
Oh!
I'm sorry, I'm not a LeBron James fan in the least. I can't stand the guy. Oh, I can't stand him. Go ahead.
So let's get it all out there. Who here is a fan of LeBron James in real life? Is anybody a fan of the man?
LeBron James.
I respect the fact that he's a billionaire and the best at his sport, but that's about all I got.
Yeah, I
that's pretty good.
Overpaid and egotistical. That's the only thing I can say.
I think he's better than Michael Jordan.
Oh, the blasphemy!
I would agree. I would agree, nerd man.
I am done. I'm done.
It's like Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady. If anybody watching, hey, dude,
Aaron Rodgers definitely better.
I completely agree that LeBron James is the most talented person to ever touch a basketball.
No,
he's not exactly the most talented actor, and I don't exactly agree with him.
He is the Tom Brady of basketball.
No,
he's Anthony, the most talented man in the world.
Actually. Bullshit.
He's one of the greatest athletes of all time.
Come on.
This isn't a debate about LeBron
James.
James.
That's bullshit. The most talented athlete of all time? That is bullshit.
He might be. They've got to be trouble.
A scholar and a gentleman.
Guys,
a skull in my ass.
And he's
the most talented athlete of all time.
I'm asking the question. He might. I'm putting it out there. Now, I don't care about him being an athlete. I care about him acting. I don't care about him. I don't exactly love him defending communist China so that he can make more money. But let's put that out of the way. Let's talk about Space Jam 2. And did you guys see this damn trailer? This trailer was ridiculous. So I'm gonna go for 30 seconds, and then I'm gonna go for a few seconds, and I'll let you guys rip into it. Space Jam 1 from like 1990, 6 or 7, 9, I don't know, the 90s. It's not exactly a cinematic masterpiece. It's not thought-provoking. It's not. There wasn't a lot of thought put into it. It's not made to make you feel anything. It's just there to be
good
fun.
To be thought-provoking, though.
Literally, it's provoking thought. So I guess you're right. So Space Jam 2 is thought provoking. because it's provoking these demented thoughts in my head, because this trailer was garbage. This trailer was. I didn't even do a reaction to this trailer because I've been too negative on my channel. I just shit on the Suicide Squad trailer. This one came out. I wanted to rip on it. I didn't even want to do it because this trailer is literally just WB putting their nutsack on our head and saying, look at all the property we got. Remember this character and this character? You want to see this character, this character? The basketball is secondary to look at all the characters we got. Look at all our IPs. Let's put our nuts in your face. You know LeBron James? Here's LeBron James. You know Bugs Bunny?
LeBron James.
This is cinematic dribble. This is no pun intended.
That seems super entertaining, though. I don't.
No.
Wasn't that?
Who wants to go first?
Hey, let me say something, Geek Speak. Let's be more orderly this time. Geek Speak, you go first. What's up?
Okay. All I could think was, holy shit, this shit show needs to stop. And by this shit show, I mean reboots and sequels way later, like a decade or more later. Like I was just talking to you about earlier, Indiana Jones. Like, do we really need a sequel to that? Some movies just don't need sequels. Are we going to get a Godfather 4 in 5 or 10 years? Like, do we honestly need sequels to these movies that should have just been a one-off and done? Like you said, it's not a cinematic masterpiece, but it's not thought-provoking either. But certain movies, just to go off a little bit here, not all movies need to be thought-provoking. It can be a good movie and not be thought-provoking. But back on track here, it's literally 2 decades later. This shows you that most of Hollywood is literally out of original ideas. They have nothing left. They are scraping the bottom of the barrel. They're like, what can we make a sequel out of next? We need a sequel to something that happened a long time ago. People are obsessed with it. Let's do it. It's a moneymaker, and it's just it's done. It's stupid, and we need to stop. Even if it was an original movie, if Space Jam 1 never happened and this was Space Jam 1, it doesn't even look good on its own. Like, it just doesn't look good. It looks cheesy. It looks stupid. And just because you show the Iron Giant doesn't make me want to watch this movie. Not even children, I think, would show an interest in this movie. So what's next for the reboot sequel multiple decades later? Are we going to get another Sandlot? Are we going to get Angels in the Outfield? Air Bud? Like, what's next? They already did the Mighty Ducks.
Air Bud isn't exactly sacred.
The era is gone, and some things should just be alone. Kids these days don't even know anything about Looney Tunes. Does Space Jam need a sequel? No. Starring LeBron James? Definitely not. Cameos, LeBron James, cameos from the Iron Giant and whoever is not going to make me want to watch this movie. And I'm sorry I went on a rant here, but good God, did we need this? No. Bring back fucking Pepe Le Pew. And also, did you guys see that they took off what's her name? Lola Bunny's boobs? Because people were literally triggered that she had boobs in the first Space Jam. Like, what's going on?
Bunny tits. I don't care.
I don't care either. It's literally it's rabbit tits. They're sexualizing a animated character. But again, why is any of this necessary? Why? Why
is life necessary? Now, let me flip the script. JG Shaolin, you go next.
Go next, JG.
Oh my God, I can't believe we've been discussing this filth of okay. LaQueen James is not even in my top 10 all time of NBA. I don't care. Fight me, whoever wants to fight me, let's go. I do it. We're living.
Larry Fitzgerald, number 11
for you in a second.
The same person says that injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere, but still is okay with China doing their shit. Okay, I'm like, okay, that's okay. Okay, we'll talk another day. This film is just another attempt at LaQueen James trying to best Michael Jordan. That's all this is. He's just trying to say, hey, look, I'm better than Michael Jordan. See, I'm doing some Space Jam better than he did. Look at technology. It should fucking be better than what he did. And I'm done. I don't even need to say anything. Look at him. Look at him.
Oh,
even he's faking an injury so he can work on this film. That's all this was about. The little fake injury he had, the little prissy little injury. Oh, I hurt my ankle. No, this is for to promote his trend. I do like the jersey though. That looks pretty cool. But other than that,
JG.
Fuck this film. I don't care. The hell with him. The hell with this. Fuck him. Okay, next.
So
JG.
Wait. JG just said that LeBron James isn't in his top 10. I mean,
dude, man, you're smoking bowls, man.
Come
I'm
on,
smoking all kind of bowls, my friend. All kind.
JG,
dude.
you know who Larry Fitzgerald is?
Yes, I do.
Now that guy's top 10, top 5, right?
Sure. Yeah, I'll say
top 5 what?
There you go.
Players of all
Athlete.
time
You were
or
saying
wide receivers?
you were saying LeBron James is one of the best athletes like ever of all time. That's such bullshit.
Wait, no. You go
Dude,
back to
give
Larry
me a
Fitzgerald.
healthy
What are you
Kevin
talking
Durant.
about?
He'll kill
Dude,
me.
Larry Fitzgerald is a Hall of Famer in all sense. He is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Not just football, but athlete. Fucking LeBron James, dude. He's the Tom Brady of basketball.
No, he's
Larry
not.
Fitzgerald have
Yes, he is.
There is only one
is the Tom
athlete
Brady
that I
basketball.
think would be
You're
great
all
for
talking
this film.
over
God rest
each
his soul,
other.
Kobe Bryant.
You're all talking over each other.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm gonna need another shot on this.
I'm not.
No. It's not you, JG. It's all Geek Speak's fault. He
LeBron just triggered.
just so you know,
me.
at
Go
home,
ahead.
Geek Speak isn't exactly drinking water.
So LeBron
Okay, you're up
James
next,
is
man.
not only the best basketballer ever, he's also 1, 2. He takes up space 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I have never ever watched a basketball game in my life. But having said that,
Oh my God.
I don't know about
Blasphemy.
basketball, guys. I don't know about basketball. I'm sure you're all right, and he's trash. But having
No.
said that, you're right. I
He's
mean,
trash.
the thing about this movie, you're right. Do kids even know about Space Jam 1? Is that
No.
like a classic? Like a
They
Christmas
don't.
classic that all kids watch and, curve around, gather around the chestnut tree or whatever to watch fucking Space Jam? It's
If
just
you were
bullshit.
born in the 90s, you don't know about it, I think.
And even if you were born in the 90s, you probably are having like PTSD remembering fucking how bad Space Jam was, the original. The only good thing about that was the song, right? Like, I believe I can fly, right? That's the
Hell
only,
yeah.
that's the only
And the Shut Up
good
and Jam.
thing that whole film gave us. That and a Bill Murray cameo that was actually quite decent. But apart from
The
that,
greatest cameo ever.
apart from that, yeah, the movie is just a terrible, terrible movie. It was terrible then. Was it? I guess it must have been a moneymaker if they're bringing it back. But you're right. It's the brain trust. Can you imagine the brain trust at fucking Warner Brothers offices that comes up? They sit in our office and they're like, sniffing their coke or whatever, and like, guys, you know what? What we really have to do is we have to bring back Space Jam. It's moronic. I haven't seen the trailer. I have no interest in it. That's why I haven't seen it. But I'm sure it's pretty bad. That's me.
All right, Elitist, what do you got about Space Jam 2?
Do we have no originality left in Hollywood?
Yes.
I mean, isn't this the actual job description of film executives and writers, is to be original, to be creative? It's like if I was a plumber and I showed up at your house to fix your plumbing and I started squirting your house with water like a firefighter and said, well, the house is on fire. Those two things don't compute. Your job is to be creative. You're giving me Space Jam 2? Space Jam 2?
Thank you, Elitist.
Not only is it a soulless reboot, sequel, whatever you want to call it, I guess it's a sequel. Not only is it soulless, but it has some of the worst special effects I've seen in a film trailer in years. It looks like a video game.
Yes.
It looks like the climax to the first Justice League movie.
Well, he does go inside a video game.
You.
He goes inside of hey, film Elitist, he goes inside of a video game this time. So, I mean, I can excuse that.
That's stupid.
Also, it's not good enough.
Come on, Joe. That's stupid.
Oh, you
It's
said
not
the
good-
first Justice League film.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
the first Justice League film. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, first Justice League film. Not the Snyder Cut, which is obviously a masterpiece.
Obviously.
Heavy sarcasm.
Honestly.
But I do want to say that the thing that bothers me about it too is in the first film, not that it makes sense, right? Michael Jordan's playing basketball with a animated rabbit. Obviously, this doesn't make any sense. But at least the reason he's doing it is kind of okay. It's like we need to beat these guys to save our lives so we don't have to become slaves on an alien planet. But in this one, LeBron James' kid gets kidnapped. And Don Cheadle is narrating it. Don Cheadle is the tour guide of this alien cartoon planet. It's like they're not even trying.
That's how I felt.
it seems like LeBron brought this to the table and said, "This is my idea, guys." And they said, "Well, fuck, it sounds good."
Can I ask everyone a question?
This was filmed like 3 years ago.
Can I ask everyone a question? Does everyone else find that Bugs Bunny is a fucking sadist?
I love Bugs Bunny.
He's so cruel to Daffy Duck. I just can't stand the cruelty to fucking Daffy Duck, man.
Dude,
Daffy Duck feels like a brother who's getting he's getting the, do you know what I mean? Like he's getting the wrong end of the stick. Like,
that makes me feel like you haven't seen enough of Looney Tunes, like even the classics. Like I see what you're saying, but you have to watch enough of the classics. Like Daffy Duck is the sadist here. Bugs Bunny just kind of goes on his own thing. Yeah, that's really all I'll say about that.
Daffy Duck is
Bunny.
That's victim. That's victim.
How much Looney Tunes have you seen, dude? Daffy Duck is such a selfish, sadist asshole.
And
I don't-
canceled
I don't-
everybody.
Should we cancel Bugs Bunny? I mean,
No,
I think Bugs Bunny needs to
I'd
be
rather
canceled.
cancel Daffy Duck than Pepe Le Pew.
should we cancel LeBron James?
we shouldn't cancel
I
anything.
wish we could
If your
cancel
feelings
LeBron
are
James.
hurt, move on. Who cares? People are not telling their kids enough. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks of you. Think about yourself and how you think of you. People are too worried about what everybody else thinks of them.
Has Bugs
Like,
Bunny
you have to
announced,
cancel a cartoon to feel validated? Like, really?
has Bugs Bunny announced his pronouns yet on his Twitter page?
Yeah,
That's what
Bugs
I
Bunny
wanna
is a
know.
he. He.
Okay.
God forbid
all right.
I ever get famous
Hey,
too,
somebody.
because I will never, ever announce my pronouns.
All right.
You call me
that's your
whatever
choice.
the fuck you
So,
want.
somebody asked if Space Jam made money. It had a budget of $80 million and made 250. So that was really great for the 90s. And it's like for people about my age, it's one of the most famous like kid movies from if you're like below the age of like 35. But I mean the first one had Charles Barkley and wasn't Larry Bird in it, and it had a few basketball players. It actually had a plot, like their powers were taken by these aliens, so they needed Michael Jordan. Like the elitist said, in this one, his kid gets kidnapped, and then he's just sent to this realm. Like, why do they have to play basketball? What's at stake, man? What's at stake?
It's very kiddie. It's very childish. It just doesn't make sense. Like I said, I don't even think children are going to be attracted to this. Even LeBron James fans.
Make this your final thought. Everyone get one more final thought on Space Jam, then we're going to move on.
It doesn't make sense. And I think the fact that they have to put cameos from other properties like Iron Giant, and etc. shows that they aren't confident in their own property and they're not confident in LeBron James. So they have to show these other things, thinking that's going to be like some super big thing. Like, oh, hey, I know Iron Giant too. I'm going to go watch it. Like, it's going to be I hope it bombs, and it's going to bomb. It's just ridiculous.
Nerdman?
Oh, I have no thoughts on this ridiculousness. Really, nothing.
All right. The Elitist. Is this movie below your brain cells as well?
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? I just had a thought. We were talking about the political messages in movies, and now we're talking about the reboots and the sequels. It's not just that when you do that, you automatically make someone think that you're not being original or you're being contrived. But if you're going to do it, at least make it good, right? That's because if you don't, and you do the other thing, and you're unoriginal, and it's not good, then I'm really not going to like it, and I'm really not going to give it a shit. It's like they're trying to alienate people. You know, I just want good movies. Call me old-fashioned. Is that too much to ask for?
No.
Maybe Space
By the
Jam
way,
2 will surprise you.
I'll say this.
Oh,
though.
man, the world is spinning.
I'll say this as well. The whole reason for the first one, it was that basketball was actually getting big around the world. Like Jordan had made basketball big around the world. People knew Scottie Pippen. People knew Ewing and all of these kind of guys. Charles Barkley. They knew those people. So it was actually becoming a bigger deal around the world. Now, I don't think basketball may be big in America, but I don't think most people around the world know anyone apart from this guy. And I can't even remember his name right now. just went blank
As
on his name.
Geekspeak said, it's LeBron James.
LeBron James.
Dude,
Yeah.
if you
So
look, this is my last thought, and then I'll get to you, Shallon. If you look at the ratings for how many people watched this year's NBA or last year's NBA Finals, they are putrid. Like, people are not. I don't know if it's the lockdown, if it's the politics, or what it is, but people are not watching basketball like they used to. I think it was Game 6 of the Finals, which was the final game between the Lakers and the Heat, had 7 million people watching it. That's low. The recent basketball game, the college game, I forgot who was playing. It was like Kentucky and somebody. A college basketball game had 17 million. 10 more million people watched a college basketball playoff game than the NBA Finals. People are caring less and less about the NBA.
Because it's boring, man.
People still love it around the world, but like LeBron James is a very incendiary personality. You either love him or hate him. Not many people are in the middle. Well, Nerdman, you don't really know about him, but
I think he's a pussy.
I think he definitely. I think if this would have come out 8 years ago, it would have made bank. But now it's just way too late. Nobody cares anymore. Nobody gives a shit about this. And if you do give a shit, I hope you enjoy it. We just don't. What do you think, Shallon?
I think had this movie been made 8 years ago, it might have been starring Kobe Bryant and not this buffoon we see right here on screen.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah, rest in peace to Kobe Bryant.
Yep.
I'm not a fan of LeBron James, as you guys noticed from my rant. He is probably the best thing and the worst thing to happen to the NBA. Best because he gave players their own identity. Like, hey, we can do what we want. We actually run the league. But worse because, like you stated, ratings are down. Nobody cares about the NBA anymore.
That's right.
This is another attempt by LeBron James to say that I am better than Michael Jordan and I did it better.
That's right.
That's all this is.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Now we'll end it with this. In the last dance, when they went to Dream Team, they went to Paris, I think. There was an article in the paper that said Michael Jordan is bigger than the Pope. I'm done.
LeBron James versus Michael Jordan is definitely not a movie topic, but I will end this session by saying this. WB, Space Jam 2, you can take this movie and
shove him right up your rectum. Right up your, jam it up.
Yes. Twice, 3 times over. If we have to pay that premium, like an extra $10 or $20 to watch this, if it's free, I might not watch it. I might not even watch this to review it. I don't know, man.
Warner Brothers is desperate. After their Harry Potter franchise died, they have nothing. So they're
Warner
trying
Brothers
hard.
is making mistakes, and we're about to get to that right now. That's a great segue, Geek Speak, even though you didn't mean to do it and you're a little impaired. Fantastic segue into our next topic.
Fuck you.
So it came out that Chris Terrio, the writer of Nerdman, you explain this one because I'm not as versed. What has Chris Terrio written, and why is he angry?
I need a water bottle.
Right, this is all on me. All right,
I'm just kind of lay it out, and then we'll flow through it.
So Chris Terrio's come out with a new. There's an interview
Chris Terrio?
Chris Terrio. I will say, in the Hollywood Reporter, he is the writer behind such masterpieces of the Batman v Superman, Rise of Skywalker, the Justice League,
shit.
and Argo.
Man, think about all those shit movies you just listed.
Hey, Geek Speak, you'll have your turn.
He's an Oscar-winning writer, and so he came out with an article, the Hollywood Reporter came out with an article where they interviewed him, and he kind of just went through and gave us a kind of insight into what happened in the developmental stages of the DCEU. And essentially, he had a lot to say about Warner Brothers and how they basically, as far as he's concerned, derailed Zack Snyder's Snyderverse. So that's essentially what happened in the article. Do you want me to go on further or mention some points, or do you want to go?
I'll let you go on with some. I'll go a little bit, and then I'll let you go on with the details. I'm going to say that I am just tired. I am burned out on WB and DC and Zack Snyder and Ray Fisher and Amber Heard and Joss Whedon and blah, 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 blah. It's just constant. There's just constant drama from this company. I don't want to compare companies because I'm not saying that DC has to be like Marvel, but like you don't hear this kind of shit and rhetoric come from Marvel all the time. It's nonstop. I'm burned out from WB. They've made such terrible decisions. They've treated their talent so bad. They've made the wrong step in every direction. I want to burn the Snyderverse down. I want the Snyderverse to end. I want it to never come back. I want the corpse of the Snyderverse to be demolished and put in one of those penis tubes like Man of Steel and sent to the Phantom Zone with General Zod where we can never see them again. I just want this all to end. Please, WB, whoever's listening, Jeff Johns, anybody, please, just give us good DC movies and stop with the drama. Just give us good DC movies, for God's sakes. I'm tired of it. I'm burned out, and that's literally all I'm going to say on this topic because I do not give a shit anymore. Nerdman, take it over.
Well, I mean, I have to say I agree with you, and I'm really tired of the fandom. And the flame wars, and basically all of the fandom arguing over this, saying like Ray Fisher this and either side of it. It's so fucking boring. I do not care about these fucking rich people who were paid to do one thing, to adapt comics. That an animated fucking universe of people who are not paid millions to do did a much better fucking job of, right? I don't see, like, it's mind-boggling to me. All the material is there for them to adapt. All of it is there, and they just mess it up each time. And I want to just start off with this quote by
say a couple of the quotes, and then I'll get everybody's opinion.
This quote by Chris Terrio, right? So Chris Terrio, writer of Batman v Superman. Batman v Superman, it's a film that I do actually like, but it's majorly flawed, and it's divisive, and nobody can deny it's divisive, and it didn't make money. It didn't make its bank in comparison to the expectations of what you'd expect a Batman and Superman movie to make. And it strikes me as strange that even till now that Chris Terrio's defending elements of it. So he described Superman as this, which I found so interesting in terms of this is the guy you want developing or this is the guy you thought could develop a kind of Superman movie. So he says, without sounding too political, it's not lost on me that much like a drone, Superman sort of comes from out of nowhere from the sky and vanquishes his enemy and then flies off with no consequences. That may not have been an angle on Superman that people wanted to see and wanted to think about. Right? I don't know if anybody if anyone feels anything about that, but to me,
I feel nothing. I know the film elitist, he'll probably have some things to say. I know Shaolin will have some things to say.
Yeah, I would rather be sodomized for a week straight by Mechagodzilla than watch Batman v Superman or The Rise of Skywalker. Involuntary admission into a mental institution is preferable. I'm not being hyperbolic. I don't want to hear shit from Chris Terrio, this self-important cuck. Who are you? You got paid millions of dollars and that's what you came up with? Batman v Superman and The Rise of Skywalker? You have the writing skills of a 14-year-old. Okay? I don't want to hear your thoughts on the direction WB should go. You're not a studio head. You're a hack writer, a hack. Yeah. Okay? And here's the other thing. When are we going to just get to a point where Warner Brothers admits, hey, we fucked up? You know, Joker was I do too, but here's the thing. I don't want to see the Flashpoint paradox as a faux pas Deus Ex Machina. You know, we're gonna screw our way out of this while still maintaining the universe and juxtaposing in Michael Keaton's Batman. I just want to see a clean slate. Give me stories I care about. Give me angles. Don't give me the extended 4-hour Justice League cut. I don't need that. Okay, I don't need it. I don't need 2 extra hours of that movie to know that it's still dog shit.
So you don't need the extra 10 minutes. You don't need to see Lois Lane laying in bed for 10 minutes. You don't need to see Aquaman going off and women singing to her. You don't need to see.
What context could you? What added context could you possibly give me? What added value could you possibly give me?
Bro, that 20 minutes of Batman trying to find Aquaman, dude, that totally made the movie so much better.
You'll get your time, geek.
God damn it.
What possible value or context could you add in 2 hours, an extra movie, basically, that would make me unsee what I saw when Steppenwolf came riding in like a God of War video game character? It looked like shit. I'm sorry. You can't.
It does look better in the Snyder cut.
Okay, but you can't fix that. You can't undo what you've already undone.
You can't undo the character work that they laid down in BVS.
Right. It's a terrorist attack on artistic integrity. You can't undo that.
Holy shit.
That's all I got.
Shaolin, do you have any strong feelings about the DCEU or Chris Terrio or any of this?
I sure the fuck do. Let's start off with Terrio. After listening to that filth that he's written for, he has nothing to say. Yes, it's the DCEU, FU, wherever the fuck it's called nowadays. Is it in trouble? Yes. But it starts at the very top. Until we fix that train wreck, we'll forever get trash live action DC films.
Yep.
I thought you liked the Snyder cut.
No, I said no. I like the Snyder cut. But as far as everything as a whole, it's been trash.
Yeah.
It's been trash as a whole. Like, well, I'll say this. Wonder Woman, I like Wonder Woman. That film actually made me like Wonder Woman. Aquaman, I don't think it was good as everybody else tried to say it was, but it was a good film.
Yeah.
Man of Steel, we might have our differences of opinions, but I actually love that movie. And so, we've had a discussion about that. It's just a train wreck. Now what we're doing now, Our Man, a fucking and then we have The Rock saying he wants to produce Man of Steel 2. It's just a train wreck altogether. It just from top to bottom, just a train wreck. And it is so simple to fix it, but everybody wants to be the chief. Nobody wants to listen. And we're gonna move forward with a black Superman. I'm sorry, it's done.
Yeah.
As a DC lover, I am so sad to say that the DCEU is done.
Spoken like a
yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna step in here and do a little bit of defense. I'm gonna step in wolf here, and I'm gonna do a little bit of. Look, I get I don't think there's anything that you guys are saying that's necessarily untrue, but I do think Chris Terrio, reading the article, has had he has got a tough time from critics. I think a lot of the time people criticize the film without giving any kind of reasons. They're just this is just a pile of shit. But what is the reason for that? Let's actually understand and unpack what the problems are here. And I think the issue, I mean, it's kind of hard to defend him because I'm actually thinking at the same time I have huge problems with the film. But I think there is some kind of, in terms of his writing, it was a vast improvement on Man of Steel, for instance. And I do think Justice League has some genuinely great moments. And I don't think the writing is necessarily the problem with it. So I don't blame Chris Terrio in any kind of way, but I do take issue that he doesn't seem to understand. And this is what Zack Snyder and him don't seem to understand, and Zack Snyder's fans, that the movies were divisive. They divided audiences. And the reason they divided audiences is because of certain choices they made about these characters. Making Batman a serial killer does not make sense. That's what he was in Batman v Superman. Coming in and talking about Superman and describing him like a drone who comes in and flies in and vanquishes his enemies with no consequences. That's not Superman. That's your own fucking character. That's not what Superman does, right? And if you're going to have a premise of a film like that, and you're going to put these two at conflict with each other, and expect that there's not going to be any blowback, that you're not going to get any critique from it, then you're living in a fucking dream world. That being said, I think that Justice League was a vast improvement on what happened in Batman v Superman. I mean, the Snyder Cut being, when I say that, it was a vast improvement.
I lied. I do have feelings on this, but this just is one feeling. It's. I just thought of this. It's crazy that to think about all the DCEU movies. Only 2 of them. How many are there? 9? I think there are 9, maybe 10. Only 2 of them aren't divisive. Like every single time they make a movie, it's divisive. Think about the Marvel movies. How many of them are truly divisive that make the fans like go to war? Maybe 5 or 6 out of the 24. Like 90% of the DCEU is divisive. And one other thing, like he says that they cut 30 minutes out of Batman versus Superman. They named it Dawn of Justice when he didn't want it. Zack Snyder put things in there that he didn't necessarily agree with. Like, so he admitted that it was kind of a hard experience to write that movie and get the product out that he wanted. Then why in the fuck did you sign on for Justice League 2, 1, and 2, and 3? If you know that they're going to shit on your movie and they're going to cut it up, why the fuck did you write a 4-hour cut? I don't want you sitting there being a victim as if you didn't know, you didn't sign a contract. Why in the hell if you knew this was going to happen, if they cut your movie and you're complaining about it so much, why did you take the other job? Oh, yeah, because you made millions of dollars. So I don't want to fucking hear you complaining about it because you made your money at the end of the day and you knew what they were going to do. You knew it.
Hey, I just want to say one thing.
What's up?
The DCEU is like a sick dog. Don't be an asshole. Do the ethical thing and put it out of its misery.
Oh, I agree.
I don't know. I'll say this last thing that he discusses, as you said, the 30-minute thing. That adding 30 minutes, basically, that Batman v Superman in the cinemas. What they did was they cut it down to 2.5 hours, and that made it an inconsistent and incoherent movie. And I would just argue, look. I'm sorry, bro. Again, I like the movie. I think it's, you talked about Marvel movies earlier and why they're not so divisive. I think they're not so divisive because a lot of the time they take the easy route. Sometimes it really works for the best with Avengers, and that's a great movie. Iron Man, that's a great movie. But they've taken a very easy route. They've taken a very easy formula and recreated that formula again and again and again and again ad nauseum until the point where you feel you're watching the same film. And if you're being fair as a critic, you can't really say that the film is actually bad. You can't say Ant-Man is a terrible film. But you can say that when you've watched Ant-Man 20, 30, 40 times just in different variations, because Doctor Strange is the same film as Ant-Man. Ant-Man is the same film as Iron Man. Iron Man is the same film as, Thor. It's the same fucking film. So when you've seen that same film over and over again, then I think that accumulation makes that kind of universe a little bit boring and not risk-taking. DCU,
that's a good point.
At least, I think the DCU, it took some risks, but again, when you're taking risks like this, I think you get like a bad fan response. Joker.
Sorry.
I'm just going to say this last thing. Joker also took similar kind of risks, and the critics bashed that as well. So I do think there is a little bit of a bias towards the DC sometimes with critics.
Definitely. I mean, there are a lot of people who are dug in if Marvel makes the best movie. Like people, I don't know how anybody could have watched Infinity War and at least not said that it was fun. I understand that it moves really fast. There are a lot of characters. It's not really a film. It's an event. But if you come out there and say that's the worst movie I've ever seen,
I don't think
you probably went in with a certain view. And there are people on the DC side that they're not going to like a DC movie no matter what it is. On both sides, people are dug in. But Geek Speak, you haven't spoken in a while. You've been kind of quiet. What's up, man? What do you think about this?
He's gone. He's out of the thing. I bored him to death.
Okay, so Shaolin, what do you think about this? A little bit more.
Okay, well, to clarify, what I said, train regards, meaning more so the executives. Everything they're doing, they're wrecking everything. As far as the Snyderverse and this whole situation, look, there's been toxicity on both sides of it, right? The Snyderverse fans, the toxic ones, we're going to go out and we're going to just keep promoting this film like it's the greatest ever. No, it wasn't the greatest film ever. It was a great comic book film, in my opinion. But what they want to do what the MCU did, right? But they did it the wrong way. They rushed it.
Yeah.
Instead of doing standalone films first, connecting them, we'll do Man of Steel, Wonder Woman. Okay, now let's run in for the BBS and start doing this. It made no sense to do so. And for Snyder, I think he's a visionary genius.
Okay.
Writing in, he needs somebody else to write for him. Not Terrio, anybody but him. But I had to get you on that one. But you know, it's this can be fixed so easily.
How would you fix it?
How would I fix it? Well, they're gonna do Flashpoint, right? We don't know how good that's gonna be. But from Flashpoint, let's reboot everything, start from scratch. Do a Superman movie, not Man of Steel 2, maybe a Man of Tomorrow, something like that, right? They should.
Green Lantern.
I think bring in Green Lantern. Martian Manhunter. I don't think he was needed in the Snyder cut, but we know why he was put in there because they didn't want Green Lantern in there, so he just had to do what he had to do. I probably would have put Green Lantern in Man of Steel, had him cameo as Martian Manhunter, helping Clark out here and there. But definitely do a Green Lantern core film. Black Adam, I don't know what's gonna happen with that one. So I'm not a huge fan of The Rock. Just start.
I mean, it's essentially just do the solo characters. That's basically what it is. Do Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, and just get them together
and then
afterwards.
Connect them together.
That's all you need to do.
And nobody's saying
that
in short.
Because those three Titans, look, if done right, those are $1 billion films.
That's true, and it's not that people are saying it has to be like Marvel. You got to do it like Marvel. There's a certain way you should do it, building up the characters, solo movies. Marvel just did it right first.
Yeah,
DC it's not doing it like Marvel. It's just doing it the right way. Marvel just did it first. You can both do it the right way. Somebody commented on one of my videos, and they made a great point. They said, imagine if Marvel did what DC did and came out with Iron Man, then their second movie was Civil War, then they made Guardians of the Galaxy, then they made Avengers 1, the team-up movie. It's a mess. It's incoherent, it's sloppy, the characters are introduced in these forced ways. Oh man, the DCEU just makes me depressed, man. And not because it's a dark tone or it's deep and it goes over my head and there's blood. No. It's because the movies are sloppy and well, this is my last thing. WB doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. I'm not on the side of Ray Fisher or Jeff Johns or any of or WB or no. I think they're all fuck ups. They all fucked up. They don't know what they're doing. Let comic book like Jim Lee's going to be the Kevin Feige of the DCEU going forward. No, let comic book writers write comic books. Let film writers write movies. Let these people. It's a hard balance because you have to let them make their vision, but you also have to have some kind of fucking roadmap. Get Kevin Feige in there. Get somebody who has a plan, and then follow that plan, and then add your artistic flourishes. I'm sorry, Marvel's doing it right. Now they're kind of going down a path I'm not liking, but for 10 years they did it right. What do you have, Elitist?
Another thing about DC is the choices that they make in terms of casting. I mean, look at Marvel for whatever flaws they have or whatever. Jeremy Renner, Oscar nominee. Robert Downey Jr., Oscar nominee. Scarlett Johansson. Both versions of War Machine are Oscar-nominated actors. Almost everyone outside of Chris Hemsworth has either won or been nominated for an Oscar.
Chris Evans, too.
Meanwhile, Chris Hemsworth, I meant. Anyways, and meanwhile, DC, who do we get? Oh, who do we want to play the Flash? Let's get the third lead from The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Hey, who do we want to get to play Cyborg? Some theater actor that no one's ever heard of. Who's going to play Batman? Ben Affleck. You know, the guy that ruined Daredevil. Oh, who's going to play Superman? Some British guy no one's ever heard of. Wonder Woman, an Israeli supermodel. Not that movie wasn't good. I'm just making a point.
I completely agree with that.
Who's going to play Lex Luthor? Jesse Eisenberg? What are you doing, people?
Yeah. I have one more thing from the article to say. It's so funny.
What's up, man?
They basically, when Ben Affleck joined, they had a script. It was probably a terrible script, and Ben Affleck was probably right to want a screenwriter. But they actually brought in Chris Terrio to appease Ben Affleck. Because they wanted to keep Ben Affleck so badly. They were like, let's bring on his screenwriter to help with the script. I'm like, that's the perfect excuse to get rid of Ben Affleck, right? Like, you want to get rid of that guy, not keep him on. So I thought that was quite humorous that they'd gone and done that. Although he probably was right about the script in the end, to be fair.
Well, DC should just focus on, like, Robert Pattinson, for whatever controversy there's going to be with him playing Batman. Some people don't like it or whatever. Robert Pattinson is the kind of actor that you do a superhero movie with. And that trailer looks promising. Just like Joaquin Phoenix is the kind of guy you do a movie with, and the Joker turned out to be awesome. Okay, so build around Batman, have him be his own universe. He's your flagship character. Wipe the slate clean with the rest of this shit, and then we'll get back to it in a few years. Let the Batman movies set the tone.
Nah.
And then spin off from there.
No, I don't agree with that. They need to. There's only so much time. If they're gonna reboot, let them just fucking reboot and give us Green Lantern. You can have a few years between the next Wonder Woman or whatever.
I think the Batman could be the reboot.
You need a Green Lantern. You need a Superman Brainiac movie. Yeah, you can. I think you can reboot everything in the Pattinson universe, to be honest. But anyway, that's all I've got to say about this stuff. You're right. I'm fed up with it.
Did you have any other any juicy quotes or any last?
Not
thoughts?
really. I mean, it's just him complaining about how they screwed up his movies, and I'm just like, no, man. Like, you decided to create the deconstructionist versions of Superman and Batman and have that lead the way into your universe. Obviously, certain people who are big fans of Batman, who are big fans of Superman, are not going to like you deconstructing the characters and making Superman a mopey emo character. I happen to think, I like that movie for other reasons. I don't like Superman in it, but I like that movie for other reasons. But nonetheless, you knew that's going to be divisive. Don't start complaining about how people reacted to that. When you do something like that, and then you cast Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, that's not going to turn out good.
Yeah. So Mitchell Hughes says Loki trailer was trash. I don't know if you caught the first of the stream, but we went pretty deep into that, and I think one or two of us agree that it was pretty garbage, and then the rest of us thought that it was. Nobody thought that it was amazing looking. I don't think. We all pretty much agreed that it's like, why is it happening? Looks fun enough, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it's weird. They casted Superman like too strong and overbearing and evil kind of, and they casted Lex Luthor like not enough. They made him too childish and weird. It's like the film leader said, It starts with the script and it starts with the casting.
Lex Luthor, like, not enough. They made him too childish and weird.
Wait.
It's like the film Alita said. It starts with the script and it starts with the.
I'm trying to Geek Speak. Do you have your headphones on?
Wait. It's like the film.
I can hear myself in your video.
It starts with the script.
Oh, you're watching. Okay. he's watching us. Glad to have you back, Geek Speak. It's kind of like it's as if Geek Speak came into the stream for 15 minutes. This is perfect. A perfect allegory. He came into the stream for 15 minutes, got drunk and left, and then he came back, and I just acted like we're the Justice League now. Like, we don't know Geek Speak. Like, we didn't know Superman. Why in the hell did I care that he came back? See, I didn't care at first, but now I care. I got too many emotions about the DC. It's oh man.
Let's get this guy an AA pamphlet.
Yeah, I think so.
Does anybody have any last thoughts on the DC Film Elitist or Shaolin Terrific? Go at it.
Okay, so I'll go. Like I said, I agree that they could reboot it with the Batman, because I already said we're around maybe a little after Wonder Woman 84. You know, Wonder Woman 84 was trash. You can kind of intersect and combine things that way. Either way, until we fix the top for these executives and Ahmad and all those guys, this is going to be horrible, no matter what. We might have great solo films like The Joker. I thought it was a great solo film. The Batman could be a great solo film, but it's those team-up films. Something about maybe they rush them. I don't know what it is. It's like MCU's the opposite. They're great with these team-up films, but horrible with the solo ones, with a few exceptions. So, I don't know.
I just want to say one thing.
Oh, yeah, you go. Elitist,
what kind of weird snuff film is being made over here in Geek Speak's corner? What's happening?
It's Geek Speak, the Snyder Cut. Everything's dark and overly long shots of Geek Speak's face, and I don't know. This is what the DCEU has done to the fandom. It just kind of deflates us.
I think he's falling in Ben Affleck's footsteps.
Depressing. He's falling into a what?
He's following in Ben Affleck's footsteps. Drove them both to drink.
Yeah.
Man. And the thing is, let me share something real quick. To plug one of my videos. Like, I made this video about toxic fandoms, and that's the thing that we need to realize is it's all sides. I'm not just talking about Snyder Cut. I'm not talking about Marvel or Star Wars. Like, if you're one of these people who can't take somebody else's opinion and you have to scream at each other and you just hate somebody for their opinion, fuck off. Seriously, get the fuck off the internet, because you shouldn't be in a civil society if you can't have a civil conversation with somebody. And it's on every side. I've seen it. I'm a huge Marvel fanboy, you could say, of the MCU. And I have seen toxic, nasty-ass Marvel fans. I've seen it from Star Wars. I've seen it from DC. And I think we just need to...
Nerd man.
Yeah, we need to end it on this good note.
We're the most toxic.
Nerdman is a very big like DCU person versus me, who's a very, very big MCU person. But I don't hate Nerdman. I think he's got very valuable opinions. He gives his opinions maturely, and you can tell he's given thought, and it actually means something to him. Versus somebody who's toxic and is just like, well, I just like it because everybody else likes it. And it's kind of the same thing with me. I like Marvel, but I have my specific reasons for why I like Marvel. I don't like Marvel just because everybody else likes Marvel. I have loved Marvel. I love the way they make me feel. There's a lot of in-depth things on why I could talk about why I love Marvel. But at the end of the day, I respect Nerdman and I respect his opinion. I don't think the DCU is worth a damn, but he likes it and I respect him. So that's all that matters. And so it's kind of like that. Like, just get over your opinions. If you don't like something, then you don't like something, but that doesn't mean the person who does like it like below you. Like, Nerdman likes Shazam. I hate it, but I don't disrespect him or anything. Like, I don't think less of him at all. I think Shazam is complete trash, but he likes it, you know. So that's just that. You know?
Let me plug something here, Geek. The Nerdman versus Geek Speak Shazam movie debate is coming soon. I don't know how soon, but it is coming, and it's going to be It's going to be juicy. It's going to be spicy. And
I got some very good points.
No. I don't expect good points. I expect insults. I expect mudslinging. I expect curse words. Okay, that's all I want. I want you to get personal, get deep, go low.
And
you'll get
to end this one off.
You'll get insults and cuss words, but you won't get like you'll get points. Like, I am going to convince Nerdman to not like Shazam.
Okay.
Hey, Superwise has joined the stream. I want to read some comments. I think once Robert Pattinson is well established in his own universe, DC can start a new cinematic universe. Yeah, that's what we said. We completely agree with that. The set photos already reveal Superman, Wonder Woman, and Flash exist in that world.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it does.
But I mean, do they, or is it one of those things where they exist but we'll never see them? Like, it's going to be one of those things.
I gotta.
No, but I think they should do it in the Pattinson.
I completely agree that they should reboot it.
I think if there's one thing DC has shown us is that if there's a fucking character out there, you're gonna see them.
Yep. Hey, guess what? We got a Toyman movie in development.
I mean, they'll get Sly Stallone to voice Killer Croc. I think they'll find a way to juxtapose
King Shark
Batman movie. Whatever, King Shark, King Croc, they can suck my croc.
I got a rant. I got to go. So basically, over a long weekend, Warner Brothers hammered out titles and release dates of upcoming movies, and there was only 2 directors to helm these movies. It was either Christopher Nolan or Zack Snyder, and Christopher Nolan was out going on to bigger and better things. He was going to direct artistic movies, so they gave Zack Snyder full control to direct a movie. He was the launch pad for an entire cinematic universe, and even under the best circumstances with the most talented director, that is an impossible task to ask one person to do. Warner Brothers took a shortcut, cobbled together scripts from multiple writers featuring wildly different characters. If you're wondering why Lex Luthor is so inconsistent, if you're wondering why Lois Lane's plotline makes no sense, or literally any of Batman and Superman's lack of characterization, is because DCEU muddled together multiple scripts. They went wrong with rushing. They went wrong with not taking time to research the characters or find people who cared about the characters or cared about enough to research the characters. They wanted in on the superhero game. They wanted that money. They wanted the cash flow like Marvel, and they didn't put enough time and thought into these characters. They just wanted to make money. That's why their whole universe sucks, because they don't give a shit. They say, hey, this is a cape. Give us your money. And people are stupid enough to say, I like capes. I like superheroes. Here's my money. They don't give a shit about any of it. This universe sucks. They need to stop, reboot, restart. Robert Pattinson is the new Batman. Let's start from there. Let's get a fresh take. Fucking erase the rest. Let's recast, redo. It's done. It's done. I'm done. Sorry. Rant over.
Hey, for all the bad in the world, we still have pretty good lives if we can get this upset about superhero movies. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
Bring it back to earth.
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
And that's the thing is that if we're trashing on a movie that you love, it's not personal. If you trash on a movie we love, it's not personal. That's the movie game, man. But I think that we hammered DC pretty hard, which I honestly didn't intend to happen. But it is what it is. Let's move on to the next topic. Guys, as I eat my mic, let me tell you.
You nasty ass.
So the next topic, I feel like we'll find a way to rant. We'll get a couple rants out of this one. So Netflix just did the whole deal with Sony, $1 billion deal where starting in 2022, every movie from Sony that comes to theaters is going to Netflix. Netflix gets first dibs. It's not going to HBO Max. They don't sell it to Apple TV. It's going to Netflix. We're talking Venom, Spider-Man, Uncharted, all that shit. And it really got me. I didn't think it was really a newsworthy story. And then I really got thinking, dude, Netflix is dying, I think. Netflix is on its last breath. And I was wondering if you guys thought the same thing, because think about Netflix just 3 or 4 years ago. Man, Netflix had all the Marvel movies, the whole MCU, almost all of them. It had, and then it lost it to Disney Plus. It had Friends, lost it to HBO Max. It had The Office, lost it to Peacock or NBC. It had Cheers. Cheers has gone to NBC. Netflix has nothing. They have no big juicy IPs anymore to keep people watching.
They got to all the boys they love.
I used to watch Netflix like 4 days a week. I don't even watch Netflix barely any. When my Netflix account goes out, I won't know because I'm not looking at the screen to pay for it because I'm not watching it. What do you guys think? Does anybody think that Netflix?
I watched something good on Netflix recently, but it's very rare. I think a lot. They've just got too much. No, it was The Serpent. What was it that you were saying? Was it the?
Me?
What was your? Yeah. What did you say? What did you say?
I was joking. My wife likes that kind of thing. To all the boys I love, or whatever this shit's called, with Noah Centino.
Don't lie. Don't
that gay,
don't lie.
that gay drama shit, man. Come on.
You like that shit. You like that shit, man.
Hey, man, what can I say, man? It's just a thing, man.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Bridgerton brought out the girl that's inside me, so I'm sorry.
Hey, what?
Bridgerton was great. Bridgerton was fucking great. I don't care what anybody says. I won't fight anybody about that film. That show. It was great.
Bridgerton got me wet for sure.
I don't know, man. It was
So Superwise thinks
hey, please tell me you heard that Bridgerton rap. That Bridgerton,
Superwise thinks that now that Sony got, or that Netflix got the Sony movies, that they're in a better position. But I mean, that deal only lasts, I think, a year or two, and then they can still sell it to other buyers. But I'm saying for now, like this got me thinking. Like, other than Spider-Man, what does Sony have that's going to save Netflix? I don't think Netflix is going to be around it's not going to be like one of the top 3 in 10 years. No way.
Y'all heard my Bridgerton rant, right?
Wait. You hold that in. We'll let everybody else get a thought on Netflix, and then you can rant about Bridgerton, which I've never seen. Is it on Netflix? I don't know.
Yes. It is.
I never get on Netflix. Elitist, you had something to say about Netflix.
Oh, I was just going to say that I don't think partnering with the brilliant minds that decided Topher Grace is Venom is going to help anything. But, that's just me. What do I know? I'm not running Netflix. I think they're dying. When I click on there and I scroll through what's on there, I end up spending 3 hours looking for something and then just wanting to shoot myself because at the end of the day, there's nothing to watch. I mean, maybe I'm in the minority here, but I feel like if we combine the amount of hours of time that people waste scrolling through the homepage of Netflix, you would be looking at about a decade worth of time between the collective. I think people are tired of being fed stuff that's unoriginal. That's kind of the central thesis here with the Space Jam, the Loki trailer, Netflix. It's all the same problems. DC. People want to see stuff that excites them. When Stranger Things first came out, it excited people. Do people care as much now? No, they don't. No. And that's about all they've got left. Orange is the New Black is gone. Ozark is okay, and Stranger Things. They have nothing else.
I think it's in terms of those long-term series that they've got too many. I mean, I'm sure there's a good one amongst them, but it's just so a volume of shit. And you have to wade through it to get something that is of relevance to what you're interested in.
They got the Kevin Hart specials.
They got the Kevin Hart specials.
I will say that's a good point. Netflix, I think they have a bunch of great comedy specials. I think that's what saves Netflix. They just have a bunch of good comedy on there. Not a bunch, but they have a good amount. And we're exaggerating a bit. Like, Netflix isn't a desert with nothing good. Like, they just added Saving Private Ryan. They have some good stuff on there, but that was a good point. The original content that Netflix is making isn't fantastic. There might be one out of every 7 or 8 shows or movies that are actually good. And I don't trust them to be around. And I'm not talking about right now. I mean, are they dying? Like, will they be not a top 3 or 4 competitor in 10 years? That's what I mean. And I don't think they will. I think they were McDonald's 8 years ago. Then some Burger Kings and some Wendy's started coming in and taking some of the people. Now they're not McDonald's anymore.
T-Bell.
And then some Taco Bells came in, took some of the revenue. And I just don't think that the Sony pictures, like Film Elita said, they don't make great movies. They don't make great decisions with their properties with Spider-Man. I just don't trust it. I don't think Netflix will be a huge thing in 10 years.
Although you're right about Sony as well. I think of all the kind of IPs you can get things from, Sony's only got Spider-Man. That's basically it. I don't really see that Sony's going to be putting out big movies that everyone's going to be wanting to watch apart from like the Spider-Man movies. But it might make a blip. It might make a slight difference. There's something that Mytel Hughes said. I don't know if you want to think about that, but
yeah. I was thinking. They say, hey, can I call and state my opinion real quick? If you have a StreamYard, you can join, man or woman, whatever you are. I say man no matter what. So if let me know in the comments if you have StreamYard, and I'll send you a link. And if you're cool, man, come on here, bro, and talk to us, dude.
I think he's way behind, though. I think he's watching it from like the beginning, so I'm not sure that he can hear you because of what he's responding to. But anyway, I mean, again, I think I like Netflix a bit because I've got other streaming channels. So I've got HBO Max, I've got other things. So you can kind of go between them. But I think in general, these guys really, I think the COVID thing has hurt them massively because it just seems like there's not enough new stuff that's compelling coming out, in terms of original series. Not enough water cooler stuff. Netflix for a long time hasn't had that stuff. Like The Serpent, though. If you guys haven't seen The Serpent, you should watch that show on Netflix. It was pretty brilliant, but it's only 6 episodes.
Well, like I said, it's like you get 2 out of every 10 show. Like 1/5 of the things are great. What's up, Shaolin? What do you think about all this?
I will be a defender of Netflix and Sony for this one.
Okay.
I think for me, I love all different types of genres of film. So I love the variety of films that Netflix has, even their original stuff. Kingdom, I don't know if you guys have seen it, was great. It has a lot of
Which
anime.
one was that?
Kingdom, it's like imagine zombies in feudal Japan or something like that. You don't have any guns, you have bows in the air. It's great. It's great. You have a plethora of anime on there you can watch. It's so like you're right. There is a lot of shit on there.
I love anime,
but there's a lot of diamonds in the rough too. But I don't like the fact that Netflix algorithm, because they'll have some shows that are great, but they won't greenlight them for a second season. Like Everything Sucks, I thought was pretty good. As far as Sony goes, it has a lot of properties. You got Spider-Man. Remember the James Bond stuff, Casino Royale, and all that stuff is on there. Men in Black, Hancock, Dance Wars was going through.
But really, it's that original content that all of their superhero movies have been bad. They always they always do these superhero movies that they make up like different stories, and the budget isn't big enough to kind of really, do them properly. That's what I find. There was one with what's his name, Fox, the. Something Fox, the black guy,
Jamie
Foxx. Jamie Foxx.
That was trash.
Power. They do so many of those. Yeah, like they do so many of those kind of films and stuff like that, and you're just like, dude, what you should focus on is like you need like 10 series or 10 movies that are just really, really good that you can keep people coming back to season after season. Something like their own Game of Thrones, essentially, or their own. Well,
I think they got those. I think. Well,
I don't know they do.
Lupin. I don't know if you've seen that. Lupin was pretty good show. I don't know if they're gonna do another season or not.
Hey, Shaolin.
Yeah.
So I want to address that because, realistically, really, if I scrolled through, I could probably find 50 movies maybe that I would like to watch, and maybe 10 or 15 shows, but and you could probably make a list of 15, 20 shows, 30, 40, 50 movies. it seems like a lot when you're listing it off, but like when you step back to the like over 4,000 or 5,000 different shows and movies they have, 100 good things out of 8,000. It's just the percentage is not good enough, I think, to keep it sustaining. And they don't have The Office, they don't have Friends, they don't have the Marvel movies anymore. They don't have the big things that like we literally, my family, we had Netflix to watch Friends. Now we don't care. And then we had it to watch The Office. Now I don't care. I'll go to another platform. Netflix doesn't have like the ratio of good to bad. I think it's more bad on Netflix. What would you say to that?
I'd say it's 50-50.
Okay.
I would say 50-50. Because I mean, the things I watch, I tend to like. Right, okay. There are some stuff on there that, like you said, it's like, why is this even on here, right? But we also have to remember, back in the day when Netflix was great, what other streaming service were their competitors besides Hulu, maybe? Right now, Amazon Prime has their stuff. HBO Max has their stuff. You have
Disney Plus, Peacock.
TV, if anybody likes that or not. Disney Plus, of course. So there's a lot of competition. Everybody's trying to grab everything that they can.
And I think Netflix, that's why they're going to die.
In a way, I can understand why someone would say Netflix is going to die, but I kind of see the sun in the horizon of all this, right? I think Netflix is going to come up with some stuff like Jupiter's Legacy. It looks kind of corny at some bits, but it
looks corny as hell. The Josh Duhamel, whatever. His wig is so bad.
It's such a superhero trope now. Like everybody's got their own
film elitist. You've
genre.
been quiet for a while.
Oh, what do you want from me? I think Netflix sucks.
You spit facts, bruh.
When they put on stuff like Riverdale, and that's like one of their flagship programs,
or fucking Sabrina, like the trash. Netflix is for teenagers. That's
right.
Exactly what that is.
Well, I will agree.
They put on a lot of adult content.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's for teenagers, but you've got Sabrina, you've got
okay, but look at their market. The stuff that they try to advertise to all the boys, and Sabrina's last season. Like I feel like it, and maybe it's not for teenagers, but it's mostly directed towards teenagers with some of the content.
They do have a lot. They have not just some. They have a lot of those generic, like
teenage
Disney Channel fucking teenager rom-com movies with actors. Dude, it's all over Netflix.
Well, you also got to remember they have a lot
to focus more on shows like You that.
You sucks.
You don't like You?
Fuck you.
I don't think I've seen that one yet.
You was cheesy.
All women love that show, and you know why.
You is a step above Riverdale.
Facts. I'm getting my boobs in soon, so.
I figured, no.
Hey, nerd man, let that inner female come out of you, man. Bridgerton did it for me. You can do it for you.
Oh, come on.
You have a Geek Speak. You have a rant about Bridgerton. You want to give me about a 1 minute rant about Bridgerton?
I can give you a 1 minute. I watched glimpses of it when my wife was watching it, and I just really wanted to curl up in a ball and die. I wish I didn't exist. I wish the show didn't exist. Anytime that she was watching and I saw it, I questioned all of reality. I wish that Thanos was real and I had been a part of the snap that got dusted, so I could come back 5 years later and everybody realized how shit that show was. Yeah, that's the most I can say about it.
Okay, so
blasphemy.
So let's give anybody have any last thoughts, and then I'm going to answer this comment.
I gotta get on him about this Bridgerton. Look, that thing, Bridgerton gave me a literal mangina, man. It gave me a mangina. I love this show. It had the story was great. We got to see what's the name ass here and there, which is great if you're a female. Which now that I'm saying my mangina, I kind of like it as well. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I had a boy like you.
Is Bridgerton a woman's show or something? Like why?
I would say that.
Yes.
I would say that.
Yes,
I would say it's for a woman's show, but
it's
like the story is great. It has a great story. If you are romantic and love that stuff, then you might like it. If you're not, you might say fuck it.
It's Lifetime set in the 1800s.
Oh, come on, man. It's not that bad. It is not
Gets
that.
me wet.
It's terrible.
What did you say, film elitist?
Bridgerton gets me wet.
I knew it.
That's
I'm telling you, man, it will give you a mangina. I promise you.
Yeah, I love it.
No.
I don't need any more of my mangina coming up, but like,
Yeah. I don't have enough testosterone. Look at this little mustache.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I've seen like the
Look at this
you're making me-
mustache.
That's
Okay.
a mustache right there. You're making me want to watch it though.
Big
I have
juicy
to say,
lips.
I'm like, I'm kind of like curious as to what this.
Get out of here, man.
What this thing
And
is.
like I said, to me, it's good. And I love the fact that they have a variety of different races in there as well. It's multi-ethnic.
Yeah.
I liked it. I like it.
But it's
Okay, so final thought, Shallon. What? So if somebody like me thinks Netflix
Do you like
is
Mamma
dying,
Mia as well? Do you like Mamma Mia as
Oh,
well?
hell no. Hell no.
It-
I'm not a fan of
Don't
it.
lie. Don't lie.
Okay, fine. Fuck it. Yes. Yes. I was saying
No,
word
you
for word
don't.
right now.
what?
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. No.
Bro, I'm about to. Mamma Mia is horrible. Mamma Mia is evil. You're gonna get me started. No. So if someone like me thinks that Netflix is dying, what are a couple recommendations that you would tell me to say give Netflix a chance?
Oh, well, okay. I would say Bridgerton, of course, since we talked about my famous mangina.
Okay.
If you're into the teenage era, 90s type of, maybe 90s, early 2000s era kind of shows, Everything Sucks is pretty good. I gotta actually go through the Netflix thing and look at it.
Sucks.
Everything Sucks. Yeah, it's
That sounds great, man.
it's actually pretty decent. It's pretty decent.
Arrested
Of course, you got the
Development.
Karate Kid
Oh,
stuff on there.
Arrested
now, too.
Development is on there, and it's fantastic.
Arrested Development, yeah. So it just has a lot of stuff. You actually just have to go and look for it. I won't really focus on the top 10 they usually have on there. And some of it's like,
It's
like
usually
what that
garbage.
Jenny and one with Jenny and somebody. That was actually pretty decent.
The way,
Okay.
the
Yet
way
another
Geek-
chick
the
flick
way
kind of
Geek
thing.
Speak looks is how I feel inside.
Yeah, he has a black and white filter on, and he's
I
like
don't know.
depressed.
I don't know where the black and white came from, but yeah, this is the Zack Snyder version of Geek Speak. Like, I just want to die.
All right, guys.
The
So let's
blasphemy on this
let's
channel.
all answer
Yeah,
this
let's
comment
end
real
up.
quick. How do y'all feel about the new Michael B. Jordan movie Without Remorse releasing this month? Love to hear your opinions. To be, I don't know how you feel about it, but to be completely honest, it looks like another disposable action movie. It's literally Taken or John Wick or Nobody that just came out, but with Michael B. Jordan. I saw the trailer. I was like, ooh, this is kind of interesting, but it's the same exact plot of you killed my wife. I have these skills. I can't be stopped. I'm a one-man killing machine. I'm going to kill some people. I mean, it seems kind of entertaining, but it's just the same thing with Michael B. Jordan. He looks like he'll be okay in it, but it doesn't really get me excited. What about you guys?
No.
I mean, I'm
Okay.
all for it. I'm all for it.
Okay.
I love things that have anything to do with martial arts and all that stuff, since that's pretty much what I do. So, yeah, I'm down for it.
All right. What do you think of Film Elitist? Have you seen the trailer for it?
Yeah, I'm down for a good action movie. But it's got to be done right. I'm just tired of these propaganda pieces where there's like a cop or a CIA agent that's gonna go save the fucking world, and he's the most kick-ass motherfucker that ever existed, and he's on a one-man mission. Shit, we got 300 something million people in this country, and we're falling apart.
They haven't
One guy's
replicated
gonna
a good
save
movie
the
like that
world.
since On Air, huh?
No, I just like like that show with Krasinski. What is it? Jack Reacher or Jack Ryan?
Reacher, Jack Ryan. I don't know which one. One of those Jacks.
It's just straight up bullshit. It's like he's saving the world one mission in the jungle at a time. I don't know, man. Like, you got to give me something a little more believable than that, or like the Fast and Furious, where people are flying out of cars over mountains, getting caught by helicopters. I need a little more substance. I get that we have good special effects. We're in the forsaken future here. You know what I mean? We're about to enter virtual reality. I expect that the VFX are going to look good, but how about you write me a story?
Yeah. Anything else? You want to rip it a little more?
That seems like the appropriate
No,
amount.
that's about as much ripping as you need.
What about you, nerd man? You have any feelings about Michael B. Jordan's new action movie?
I literally don't. I really, really don't. I mean, like, am I supposed to? I don't know.
I mean, it might make you feel nothing. I don't know if you've seen the trailer or if you just think it's another action movie. I mean,
I think I've had it on like at some point. Like, I don't know. Maybe to go. I don't think I've focused on it and really kind of seen what it's about. But yeah, generic Netflix action movie. It's not as good as the 80s Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. I'm out.
all right.
Yeah, I want to say I agree with my trail. I hope I didn't butcher your name. I agree with what he said. I started 2 more you should check out. The Queen's Gambit. It's a great chess
That's
kind
good.
of TV show.
Okay.
It's good. Mindhunter is really great. I don't know if you guys
Ooh.
I would never expect
Mindhunter
that.
is good.
Come on.
I've
yeah,
been
it's
compared
got
to the
some
guy
good
in
stuff
the
on it.
So educated and so mature, and then you say to check out the Queen's Gambit, that female-led.
Dude, I love
female
chess, so I'm
empowerment
gonna watch
movie.
that shit. I don't
Dude,
care
I
what you
love
say.
chess, but they made that to it's a feminist empowerment
Have
shit
you
on
seen
men
it, Geek Speak?
movement.
Do you
No,
know
I've
this?
seen trailers for it. I know about
Okay, you
it. I've
can't
seen
say
trailers.
No, you can't say that.
No,
That
I
is not
can-
what it is. That is not what it is at all.
Queen's
Sorry,
Gambit
mate.
the Queen's Gambit is a seminal piece of work in the feminist movement and in film achievement. You know, so don't go blaspheming something like that.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I would say just imagine if Bobby Fischer was a girl and a little drugged up and shit. Yeah.
I have no idea who Bobby Fischer is.
What?
He's
I'm done. I'm done.
one of the
I'm
greatest
done.
chess players.
Dude, I can't name one. I can't name a half of a chess player.
He's a great chess player. But anyway, yeah, it's a good show. I don't know about it's not a masterpiece or anything like that, but it's a very compelling show.
So
Anybody else
Netflix
have
got
any
some
final
hitters
thoughts?
on there.
Any final thoughts on the whole situation about streaming, about Netflix, about any of this bullshit? I mean, this is some real important real world shit we're talking about, you know?
Yeah,
I would
know.
say really have appreciation for
Life.
in-game, even though it had flaws and stuff, because that's probably the last time that many people are ever going to gather in the movie theater together to experience something.
I never
used to
saw
see them in
Endgame in the
behind.
theater. I never saw Endgame in the theater. Actually,
I
I
didn't
should have
either.
gone.
I did.
Well, I guess 2 out of 5, but I do think that's going to be like the last communal experience, just like Game of Thrones is going to be the last show like that with TV where people have parties and stuff and everybody gets together at the same exact time, because streaming has changed everything. So there's a lot less community to it. I think that's why comic book movies and the fandom have such passion, because they do feel that communal experience, and that's why some of the stuff that you were talking about earlier with the fandoms hating on each other happens, because they are so passionate. So it can be a good thing, but also a bad thing. But with streaming, whether Netflix is going down or whether it's Disney Plus, whoever ends up on top, it doesn't really matter, because they've changed the game. I mean, they can put the movie straight onto the streaming service, and the whole experience of watching movies is different now. So I think I'm going to miss that.
I would concur with everything you said. I mean,
Even
I think
if
you
I
pretty
don't
much
agree,
nailed
even
that
if
one.
I don't agree with it, I would concur at this point.
Yeah.
Netflix is just like whatever.
And so
Anyway.
our last topic, so we can just kind of put this one out there. This one's kind of depressing. This one's kind of not exactly thought-provoking. This one kind of grinds my gears a little bit. So, the evil bastards at the CW have, for some reason, decided to remake the Powerpuff Girls. The Powerpuff Girls. Okay, one more time, guys. The Powerpuff Girls. They're remaking the Powerpuff Girls.
Didn't they get their powers from sugar and spice?
They get it from Puff, bro. They're the Powerpuff Girls. Okay?
Oh.
I'm going to verse you in the Powerpuff. No. I'm not a Powerpuff Girls lover. Is anybody on this panel a Powerpuff Girl lover?
No.
Shaolin, don't lie. Okay.
No, I am not. It's nothing about that cartoon I found interesting at all.
Okay.
I liked it when I was like 8.
Okay, but for people who are in their 20s, it was something they grew up with. It's a kind of an iconic thing. You know, the blue, the green, the pink.
Yeah.
It has some iconography. People of a certain age love it. And they have to fucking butcher it. They have to crucify it like Jesus Christ. They put a thorn on its head, and they stretched its arms out wide, and they put fucking nails in its hands. Not just the left, not just the right, but they crossed its legs. They put nails through the feet. They fucking whipped its back. They destroyed this property that you love. If you love the Powerpuff Girls and you're excited for the show, you know what? I want to be smoking what you're smoking because that's insane. They're fucking. Is anybody else? Okay, like I don't care about the. I'll let you go right after this. I don't care about the Powerpuff Girls, but the fact that nothing, just absolutely nothing in the world is sacred anymore. They can't just let a good thing be. Let a fucking cartoon be. Why do they have to remake everything? Make new original content. And it's the fact that it's the CW. They keep spouting out this disgusting teenager fucking muck, this garbage, and this isn't going to be any different. And if you tell me that it is, okay, you can think that, but oh, no way this is going to be better than Riverdale or Supernatural or any of that fucking garbage that they put out. And I don't even, if this was something that I cared about, I'd be fucking losing my mind. This is the Powerpuff Girls. I don't give a shit. But what the fuck are they doing?
I say why stop there, with old properties and IPs. Let's dig up old dead actors, reanimate them, and then give them a show, like a Weekend at Bernie's type thing. I mean, where do we stop? There's no line, right?
Hey, which one would you bring back?
I would have to say probably Marlon Brando. That guy was pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
Really?
I like that guy.
Yeah. I was going to say the Phil Silvers. Bring back Sergeant Bilko.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, why not, right? I mean, where do we draw the line?
Are you being serious? Like, are we? Because if we got to go the Flash and the Cyborg route, we got to dig up their grave and put hands on them. That's disrespectful.
Yeah.
But if we can just snap our fingers, man, I mean, come on, Robin Williams.
We have to dig them up, and that becomes a behind-the-scenes documentary. And then we get Elon Musk to use his new Neuralink to figure it out, right? I mean, we got the best minds in the world. Let's get these dead guys back.
We need to reboot a dark and gritty version of Mork and Mindy, starring Robin Williams, reanimated.
Wow.
And just to be clear, we're joking here. We're not trying to disrespect anyone or hurt anyone's loved ones.
Thank you for clarifying.
When people pass away, that's obviously a horrible thing. All I'm trying to do is shine a light on Hollywood and how shameless they are, because if they could do it, you can bet your ass they would. If they could dig up people's corpses to get some extra dollars, they would do it. So don't make me the asshole. They're the ones fucking remaking Powerpuff Girls on CW.
Yeah. Shaolin, do you have any thoughts about Powerpuff Girls?
I have nothing. This is a waste of time. And they're not even, look, they're teenagers with breasts and ass and shit. What the hell?
Yeah.
That's not the Powerpuff Girls. Yeah. Now, if I ever watch a cartoon, I'm going to be thinking, well, how come they don't have titties and these do?
Yeah, they were supposed to be.
Look at that one. Look at that thick one back there. That's thick right there.
They're supposed to be 12 years old.
Like that.
They're supposed to be like 12 years old, aren't they?
Something like that.
Like the Powerpuff Girls.
So their dad is going to be played by the guy from Scrubs, not the main guy, but the second main guy.
Don't you think it's going to be so bad it's good, though?
I don't think so, because Supernatural, Riverdale, The Flash, like they're not.
Yeah,
they're not aware of how bad they are. Like these shows think that they're good. They think that they're subverting something, but I don't have any expectations to subvert. I mean, I really wanted to bring this up so that we could
look at the horror in the woman's face as well. He's like watching this unfold. She's like, "What have I done with my life? This is what I wanted to be a great filmmaker. I wanted to be part of the filmmaking process, and I'm remaking Powerpuff Girls."
Right, like, dude, think of how. No, I'm sorry. I don't say this a lot, but how much of this fucking money could be spent on feeding homeless children or helping people in other countries? Seriously, they're fucking wasting millions of dollars on the Powerpuff Girls. Just make another cartoon of it. Like this is the whole thing. I want to talk about, just to end the stream. I thought we could just talk about this problem in Hollywood of just rebooting everything, just the regurgitation, constant habitual regurgitation. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that in 50, 60 years, like, everything is going to be remade? Are we going to get to a point where original ideas are fucking outlawed?
Well, I think
we're already there.
Is Geek Speak alive?
I think you've made a great point, though, because what is the reason for this? It's because this period of history sucks so bad that we don't even want to like memorialize or like, do you know what I mean? Not memorialize, but we don't want to, it's not so much depict it, but there's nothing to
there's nothing to add.
I think that's where the instinct comes from, because we know, like, the 80s and the 90s and the 70s and 60s, for all the bad shit that was happening during those times, were, in terms of our pop culture, it was just cooler. And like now you've got, like, rather than Prince, you've got Cardi B, rather than Nirvana, you've got, like, I don't know, fucking Justin Bieber. There's nothing that you would want to take from this time to celebrate in that kind of way. And I think that's why we have this instinct of always going back to our childhoods, going back to those things that give us comfort. And until, I guess, times get cooler and there is something, hip to talk about, we are just going to keep on, going back, like, the 80s, and then the 90s was cool, and then, like, wasn't fashion great in the 70s, and again, and we'll recycle these things. I think that's what it's about, really. Just the times suck, and I don't think COVID's going to help either.
Nobody's gonna look back and think fondly about, like, nobody in 50 years are gonna make COVID themed movies. Like, we're making a lot of 80s, 70s movies now because it's nostalgic to us. Nobody's gonna make a movie about COVID in 50 years. I mean, maybe like a documentary or something, but
a depressing,
But seriously, like, what do the Cardi B's and the Meg the Stallions and the whatever rapper that you want to talk about, what do they genuinely have to add to the industry of art?
It's like that quote in Fight Club where he's telling all the guys in Fight Club that they're the middle children of history. They have no Great War. They have no Great Depression. And basically, the Great Depression is their lives. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they have nothing to say. They don't have any cause or any real meaning. So they look for something to abstract, to assign meaning to. Whether that's like getting overly activist on Twitter or going back and looking back 30 years at movies and saying this was better. Like, why don't you do something about the time you're in? Make things better now. Give shit to people. That's how you fix it.
I think I think there should be like a committee before any bad movie or TV show that is literally going to throw millions of dollars down the drain. There should be a committee just saying, like, if this movie really isn't going to make money, can we just give this money to the homeless or something? Like, sort out the homeless.
Mike Trill Hughes,
the drug opioid.
Let me address this comment. This is a Powerpuff Girls series, so you're not just going to be assaulted for 2 hours. You're going to be assaulted for like 9.5 hours.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. I'm genuinely curious if Geek Speak is awake right now. He hasn't spoken in about 20 minutes. But Geek Speak, if you're with us, you want to say something? He's either left the room or he's asleep. Shaolin.
Shit. I keep talking and saying, "Can you hear me? Can you hear me?" And my mic's been off this whole time. Shit. Yeah, no, I've been giving my opinion this whole fucking time, and I'm like,
we haven't heard a word.
I turned my mic off, and I just realized I was like, "What the fuck is happening right now?" You keep saying, "Geek Speak, can you hear me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, bitch, I can hear you, motherfucker. I'm right here." Dude, this is an atrocity. I already told you how I feel about this earlier. They shouldn't be making this fucking Powerpuff Girls movie. What's next? Fucking Johnny Bravo, Dexter's Laboratory, Courage the Cowardly Dog. Like, when does it stop? You know, we already got Tom and Jerry. Like, stop. You know, enough is enough. Stop remaking and rebooting and trying to pull cash out of our wallets for things that we grew up with because you think nostalgia is going to make us pay for it. Like, enough is enough already. You're insulting us at this point. They need to just stop, okay? These movies, these things, these properties should just be left alone, left to be respected. They're done. We didn't need a live action TV series for the Powerpuff Girls. We don't need that shit. It's unnecessary. And the fact that it's a CW makes it even worse. If I was going to see something that I used to love watching on live action, maybe the Dexter's Laboratory, you know, but there's just so many things I would have to see before. You know, I don't want the CW to produce it. It depends on who's acting it, who's directing it, who's writing it. But I don't want that because this is something I grew up with. You're just at this point going to insult it and ruin it. Just let it be its old nostalgic thing. Leave it alone. Stop trying to get cash out of us because you bring something up that we grew up with. It's insulting.
Shaolin.
Okay, well said. Like I said before, this is a complete waste of time and energy. Money. Whoever greenlit this thing should be fired. Well, I don't want any evil on anybody, but yeah, they should be fired and just have a hot poker shoved up their asshole or something. If you're gonna bring this shit back, if you're gonna bring this shit back, you might as well bring, like I said, Dexter's Laboratory. How about Space Ghost Coast to Coast? Bring that shit back. Yeah, you know, it's ridiculous. There's no originality. There's too much censorship, too much wokeness. So we can't really come up with anything that's cool. We gotta be like, well, what if the activists are gonna boycott this and boycott that? We can't do that. Hey, let's just reboot this. It's safe. No, it's a waste of time and money. That's why I'm so bored throughout the day and night because it's nothing to watch but these crazy, fucked up, irritating reboots of these cartoons that weren't even that great to begin with. But no, let's make it live action. Let's give these girls breasts and ass and shit. Let's sexualize these women. These are little girls. Powerpuff
Hey, that's
Girls.
women empowerment, man.
Powerpuff Girls. Oh, yes, women empowerment. It's like you go up to a lady, she has a low-cut shirt, breast cleavage all out. You look, she's mad because you looked. What the fuck do you think I'm gonna do? They're sitting right in my face.
Do you think
look?
They're gonna
Go ahead.
Right. Let me make it all
rinsing.
because I'm proud of my body. And
they...
because I'm proud of my body, I'm a part of the women's movement. But if you look at me, you're sexualizing me. Like it's just an ass backwards double standard thing.
It's like you're harassing me because you assume that I'm looking at your breasts. And if I am, what does it matter? You don't assume that. Right? So that's against my civil rights. My rights as a man to look at breasts that's going to lower my blood pressure.
Hey, that's the communist country we're getting to. It's the communist country we're getting to.
I think the solution of
communism. Can I just
so Nerdman, you go, and then Elitist. So look, Nerdman, you go for a couple minutes, and then Elitist, you tear into it for a couple minutes, and.
No, I was just going to ask, do you think that we're going to run out of ideas as humanity to the point that we actually start rebooting bands? Like we actually reboot the Spice Girls. Reboot, Nirvana. Actually,
they're already bringing back 90s haircuts, nerd man. Have you seen these dudes with the 90s haircuts and the jeans and like they nothing is sacred anymore. They're going to bring back anything and everything they can.
Yeah,
Nerdman, I've actually thought about this before. We're gonna get to a point in it might take a couple hundred years, but I mean, we're gonna get to a point where we've basically heard every combination of every sound put to the ear, to the point where, like, I think there's gonna be a point in a few hundred years where music we're gonna either have to invent a new sound, like literally something we never heard before, because we're gonna get to a point where we've heard every combination of notes put together, and it's gonna be a shit show. And I don't even want to know what they reboot when we're dead. Like there are movies that are probably slated for 2022, 2023 that we haven't got trailers for. They're gonna be rebooted in 40 years. Like they haven't even come out yet.
Harry Potter, Lord of the
Rings,
Rings, Godfather. Dude, they're gonna remake anything and everything.
All right, what you got, elitist?
I say let's remake presidents. Let's make dead presidents president. George
Washington, baby.
That guy is pretty good. Let's get Abe Lincoln back.
Hell yeah.
Let's go. And while we're at it, let's embrace the absurdity of this country we live in, where 70% of people have a mental illness undiagnosed. Let's get Nick Nolte, Gary Busey, Sly Stallone, Steve Buscemi, every weird fucking C-list actor from the world. Stick them in a house together and force them to come up with the original movie.
Whoa. Hold on. Go back to the mental illness thing. What exactly were you trying to say about the mental illness thing?
I'm saying that a good portion of this country has undiagnosed mental illness. I'm not faulting those people for that, but nobody's doing anything about it. So let's take advantage of the fact that we got some wild characters out here. We got Nick Nolte. We've got Gary Busey. You're telling me we can't make something happen there? Lock them in a house. Maybe don't feed them for a couple of days and tell them you gotta come up with a new script for a movie, or else you wouldn't watch that show. It's called The Thinker.
Nick Nolte.
The Thinker on NBC Tuesday nights. You wouldn't watch it? The Thinker right after Good Place?
Hey, film elitist.
Yeah.
You're telling me you're not a fan of The Good Doctor? That
doctor
show about the guy with the Down syndrome that's a doctor?
I'm telling you, there's a place for The Good Doctor, but right after that, I want to see some absurd shit. Don't try to hide the fact that we are losing our minds.
Wait, what did you say? There's a show called The Good Doctor about somebody with Down syndrome who's a doctor. You're joking, right?
It's literally like the worst of I just don't understand how it even it's just one of those things like how you wonder how did it make it past these executives, like it got passed along, like I just don't understand. It's terrible.
Yeah.
All right.
There's your guy right there. You tell me that guy's not a fucking star?
That dude does not age at all.
Look at him go.
He's the solar system, bro.
Look at him go. You don't even need to hire anyone to work on the show. Just stick a GoPro. Let's stick a GoPro on him and let him run.
That guy is nuts.
Look at his fucking
face. Fucking cannon.
Dude, if you guys haven't watched compilations of Gary Busey, you have to. You'll go down a rabbit hole of just video after video of Gary Busey being fucking crazy, and it's amazing.
I saw you put a comment there, by the way.
Wait, what?
You had a comment in the Gary Busey video. We see what you're up to.
I didn't do that. Do y'all think The Rock is a great fit for Black Adam? Funny you should ask, Mitral Hughes. We actually, the Nerd Man and I actually just did a stream a few days ago, and we give our thoughts about Black Adam and The Rock. You go watch it, but I don't think he is. I think that he is terrible as Black Adam, and I think it's a pretty fun conversation. But yeah, man. So does anybody have any? So everything that we've talked about: Loki, Space Jam, Powerpuff Girls, reboots, Chris Terrio, DC, Marvel, politics, anything. So we're about to go freestyle for the next 15 minutes to end this. Anything on your hearts? Anything on your minds? Anything really compelling you?
When you said that list of titles, I just had this sudden sensation of like being extremely suicidal, and I'm a pretty happy guy. But you just said those titles in a row, and I was just like, "This is it, man. Just give it."
I mean, you've been living it the past 2.5 hours.
But I didn't hear it in succession.
Yes. Superwise, this stream right here, fucking some executive, CW or WB preferably, because they'll take anything. Please take this 2.5 hour stream and make it into a 6-part fucking documentary series, or I don't care. Cast whoever you want. Cast The Rock as me. So
if you don't fire The Rock as Black Adam, people will die.
Oh, so do you have any thoughts about Black Adam as The Rock?
I'm a man of my word.
Make sure you make it clear that that's you doing an impression, brother.
What's up?
That was quite good. That was quite a good impression as well. You kind of
that was a good impression. That was Geek Speak doing the Joker, just so no one thinks he was actually threatening anyone. I have a message.
We don't want to offend any of our viewers.
Right. Listen, I want to send a message. I want to send a message to the NBC executives that we need to get Gary Busey a show. All right. I'm tired of denying the madness that we live in, that we're on a scorched earth, nonstop train running off the tracks towards the end of the world. Let's quit pretending. Let's document this.
They should have casted Gary Busey instead of Matt Damon. That would have been a lot more interesting.
Oh my God.
All I want is for the NBC executives to come on TV.
Saving Private Ryan? You mean in Saving?
Of course, Gary Busey.
Listen, people, just admit that the world is ending and film it, because that's what we do, right? We film everything. Let's film the end of the world.
You're telling me you don't want an Expendables movie, but instead of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, it's Nick Nolte and Gary Busey?
Of course,
I want Gary Busey in every role. Just him, like 5 different characters.
Guys, let's just put it out there. Hey,
listening.
I'm gonna put it out there. I want to see Gary Busey and Will Smith. Fuck. Come on. I've been thinking it. You're thinking it. We're all thinking it.
I want to see a reboot of Call Me by Your Name with Gary Busey, and he's in love with Gary Busey.
but he's race bent. One of the Gary Buseys is black.
Of course.
Come the latest. I want to see a remake of After Earth with Gary Busey playing Gary Busey's son, Gary Busey.
Oh wow!
You mean Barry Busey?
I want to see a remake of Jaden Smith as someone that I can tolerate.
No, I got one better.
What's up?
Okay. Gary Busey in a remake of Saturday Night Fever playing John Travolta's character.
Oh, oh yes.
That's
Gary Busey is the Powerpuff Girls. I think that's the one we have to lead with.
Yes. Yes. I'm totally for the Pickle Avengers and hashtag restore the Pickleverse.
The pickle cut.
We all need our own spinoffs.
No, because you got screwed, man. You got completely fucking screwed by YouTube, man. You got screwed by YouTube, and they have
nothing to do with my own decisions.
Your 7 hour cut, bro. They cut 30 minutes off your fucking stream. It's just it wouldn't make sense. It doesn't make sense without that extra 30 minutes of the stream. It completely destroys the whole.
Hey, but in all seriousness, I know we talked about some goofy stuff, but I wanted to end this kind of on a more serious note. Like, genuinely, let's all think about like who we want to see Gary Busey fuck next. Everyone on this panel right now, come up with who he should fuck, and I'm going to
don't say nerd man. Don't say nerd man.
I'm going to declare a winner.
Got it.
The system.
Demi Lovato.
So who
Gary Busey fucks the system.
Demi Lovato.
Okay. Who you got, Shallon?
I got Gary Busey butt fucking Nicki Minaj. That would be it.
Oh my God.
Holy shit. No. Okay, nobody won that. Those were all terrible.
Oh, come on. Okay. Hold on. I revoked my earlier one.
I want to see Gary Busey and Zack Snyder getting at it. Who's on top?
No, Josh Whedon better Gary Busey and Zack Snyder.
Josh Whedon would sexually harass all of them.
Nathan Fillion and Gary Busey.
All right, we're going back now. We're going backwards.
No. Fuck
Gary Busey and Ray Fisher, says Superwise.
Wow,
Superwise, you're treading some dangerous ground there. But in all seriousness, does anybody have any thoughts about the Loki or anything before we head out?
Netflix.
I guess Nerdman, what are your final encompassing thoughts about everything that we've spoken about the last 2.5 hours?
I don't know. Gary Busey fucks reboots.
Is that it?
That's it.
Film elitist, you have a couple as long as you want to rant or talk about anything that we've talked about or that we haven't talked about. What's up?
Listen, don't cancel us. You know, that's the first thing. We've made some jokes here today. Nobody get too offended. We're being super hyperbolic. But what I am being super authentic about, literal, is that I want Gary Busey as the God Emperor of the planet. Okay, get him up there. What are we doing? We're wasting resources, guys. Why are we fucking around with elections? Why even vote? Let's get Gary Busey as a lifetime ruler, and let's let him make all the decisions, okay? Because I'm tired of pretending that we live in a world that makes sense.
Gary Busey and Rick Moranis.
We do live in a society, man.
That's right. We do live in a society, but I want one ruled by Gary Busey, because if the Powerpuff Girls are on CW, what's the fucking difference?
That's a perfect. I gotta get that as a soundbite. Geek Speak, what are your final thoughts about all the shit we talked about?
Rick Moranis and Gary Busey.
No, thank you. What else?
Carrot Top.
Gary Busey and Carrot Top.
Why are you going backwards?
Gary Busey and David Spade.
Okay. Anything else?
Now we're somewhere. Fuck you.
Anything else?
Gary Busey and the Philosophical Pickle.
Okay, I like it.
That's my top
Gary
match.
Busey in a reboot of Knight Rider. Anyway,
No.
Do you have any actual thoughts about Loki, Space Jam? I actually literally forgot that we talked about Space Jam.
Everything we talked about today was trash.
Put it out of my mind.
The Loki trailer, Powerpuff Girls, Gary Busey, and fucking dude. Everything we talked about today was pretty trash.
Yeah.
That all right.
That's my final thoughts.
JG Shallon, what are your final juicy encompassing? Am I Mike Tyson? Encompassing thoughts.
I'm gonna bite your ears off.
Well, to end all this, I would say, fuck LeBron James, kiss my ass.
Yes.
Powerpuff Girls.
Hell yeah.
I want to say fuck them because that can be kind of, because
a little weird.
It's just weird, but it's a waste of time.
They're children, bro.
That's not weird.
Waste of time.
Not anymore.
DC needs to get it together.
Hell yeah.
Damn right.
And that's all I got.
All right.
Yeah, let's
Film elitist. Does anybody have any other final thoughts other than who Gary Busey should? I can't fucking speak.
Literally melting your brain.
Anybody have any thoughts other than Gary Busey?
I say if he's the best.
Juicy. What's his fucking name? I'm sorry. Gary Juicy Busey. Okay.
I hope to God that over the next couple of weeks, if I jump back on a stream with you, that the world has better topics to offer, because I feel like we are.
This is the bottom of the barrel.
This is what the Powerpuff Girls and LeBron James. Space Jam 2.
Yeah, but guess what? We took these shitty topics and we molded it into something. Think about if there's something cool to talk about, how fun the conversation could be. We took shit and made it into ice cream, I think.
I agree.
I think we did.
Yeah.
But is that it, everybody? So guys,
let's all go watch Bridgerton. All right.
We're all gonna go
that mangina, man. Get that mangina.
We're all gonna go get manginas, watch Bridgerton. We're gonna go. I'm gonna go watch the Space Jam trailer again. But seriously, guys, this was fun. I hope you had as much fun as us. This was a fun conversation. I definitely want to do this again. Every Friday, I want to say at the same time, but who knows? Every Friday, this is the Geekly Wrap Up. I'm Philosophical Pickle on YouTube. Subscribe, like, whatever. That's the Nerd Man. Plug yourself, Nerd Man.
Hot Takes Tuesdays, that's my channel. I'm the Nerd Man. Come check it out. It's all about, like, again, DCEU, Marvel, all of the, like, crazy kind of geeky stuff that we're into.
Almost done.
All right. Film Elitist, do you have anything to plug? Any last words?
Yeah, no, nothing to plug other than that Gary Busey show on NBC. You can't find me on YouTube, although I will be on AM radio at 4 in.the morning. If you're a truck driver and you smoke meth, I'm right up your alley. I'm your target demographic.
All right, Geek Speak. Can you outdo that? Where can we find you at?
You can find me at Geek Speak. I talk MCU, DCEU, and how it's trash, video games, anime, manga, all the nerdy things, geeky topics, shit like that.
All right, and JG Shallon, terrific. Got anything to plug? Any last words?
Yeah, like I said before, I kick ass for a living. That's what I do. I'm actually helping training a guy now who's going to be fighting in Oklahoma City, April 30th. So pretty busy, but when I'm not busy, I'm constantly watching anime, constantly watching film, constantly checking these great guys out on their YouTube channels. Please like, subscribe, and share. That's all I got.
Hell yeah, man. I had fun. I hope you had fun. And if you didn't, it's whatever. Gary Busey is going to be the overlord. Gary Busey is going to be the overlord of Zack Snyder's Nightmare Future, where the Powerpuff Girls has 3 sequels. So I'll end it there. And until next time, guys. Peace.